talking about comic book.
All right, party people, the place to be, vandals, and all you wonderful New Year's party people. Welcome to a brand new episode of Pink Buzz, our potluck, New Year's, just what have you, free for all. And I just got to admit, man, that is probably the most beautiful intro you've made for us thus far, Joey. I mean, the Fred to the furry and all that, just it's beautiful,
Hey.
man.
I was checking the chat earlier today, so I just threw some shit in there that I read during the chat. So
Or stuff you had bookmarked.
yeah, stuff. I mean, it's kind of like things throughout the year, right? So, or some older shit too that we just found funny, classic moments. Yeah.
How you doing, JP? It's good to see you, buddy.
I had to throw the Shrek picture in there.
Hey man, Shrek is love, Shrek is life, Shrek is forever, man. And here we go. We got
Hi.
Hey, GP. Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Mo.
What's up?
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, you're just
not
in
at
time.
all.
Okay, good. I was worried.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
The
Where's your
fireworks
card?
have started and my dog is like
Oh, you
insane.
guys have fireworks?
Yeah, we've had fireworks for like a week now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
either I'm in Dallas, so it's like fireworks or gunshots. Tonight I'm thinking fireworks, but
It'll be both because it is actually New Year's. So like it'll start with fireworks and then it'll go on for about 10 more minutes with guns. That's how
That's
it usually
true.
goes where I'm at.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, we get a lockdown and curfew for New Year's here in Quebec, so yeah.
Well, you can still go out on your own property. You can shoot your gun out there, I guess.
Yeah, no one. we don't have guns up here in Quebec, so just hunting
That's
rifles.
not American.
That's about it. We have hunting rifles. That's about what we're allowed.
Yeah, here in Texas too.
Oh yeah.
You can. You're allowed
That's
to
what
have it.
Texas is known for, right? The lack of guns.
I mean, yes. We're really tight on this. Yep.
You guys are in a gun drought.
Yep.
We're allowed handguns, but they always have to be in the case, and the only time you're allowed taken out of the case is at the firing range, at your firing range club. That's the only time. Even in your own home, it has to be locked in a case, and you're not even if it's out in your house, you can get fined and go to jail. Yeah. So.
Oh, JP's in Houston. Yeah, Houston is just as bad as Dallas, if not worse, for sure. So.
What's up, Fred? You gonna hop on, man?
Fred, get your furry ass on this panel right now.
We want to see what furry outfit you got on tonight.
I can't believe I thought that this whole time.
You thought it was real? Oh.
I don't judge. I'm not going to kink shame anybody. I mean, I don't judge. I had no idea it wasn't real. So.
Cookie Monster's in the house.
Aww.
Happy New Year.
Cookie.
Yeah. I think I remember her real name. I can't. I'm horrible.
Sounds
Irene.
Lorraine, right?
There you go.
Lorraine.
Lorraine, yeah, that's it. They
I'm
like
awful
me.
at real names.
I think, yeah,
me too. I just proved it.
I think.
Go. What's my real name? Go. Somebody, whoever gets it right.
Oh my gosh, I have it in my address book too because I sent you a Christmas card. By the way, my Christmas cards are late, but
Okay.
and I was like, wow, her name is so pretty, and I cannot think of it right now.
Joe should know
It's,
it too. It was on your return address for the cute little pig I sent.
Oh, I never look at the return address.
You didn't
It's not
care. You
shit.
just saw a pig and got excited.
L is not your real name. Oh my god.
Well, it's kind of. My name is Eldanya, but it's
Yeah.
just
Danya.
easier.
Okay,
Yeah.
Danya.
That's
I knew
so
there
You
was
know-
like, yeah.
You know what my real name is?
I do. I've heard it.
I do. I actually know. But you're still
Yeah.
always going to be Johnny, so.
Yeah. I'm just Johnny from the block. Used to have a little, now I got a lot.
But
That's me.
I don't understand how people have a hard time pronouncing your name, Eldanya. It's very easy to
Aldania.
pronounce.
People call me Eldonia, Eldania. I've heard.
Oh yeah.
When growing up, they called me Eldonut. So I just.
Well, that's just like, you know, typical
Fourth
teen
grade
kid
shit.
stuff. Yeah, that's it. You know, like.
Yeah, my last name is Haney, so I got called Haynes Herway for like 3rd through 7th grade, which was a lot of fun.
Mine was York, and like, you know, I remember getting called like Melissa New York when I was in 2nd grade, and I thought like my life was going to end because
Really?
how humiliating is that someone called me that, or like York Peppermint York Peppermint Patty, and I'm like, this is it, my life is over.
One of the best.
York-
As a
candies.
2nd grader.
But New York,
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool name, man.
I mean, but you know, it's like back then being
When you're a
teased, like,
kid,
I'm
yeah.
done, my life is over.
But
So
you live in the South too, so you guys look down on, you know, Northeast,
On
you know,
them
the
names.
Northeast.
you're a
The
Yankee.
Northeast. Yeah, that's it. Fuck you guys, man. You're living up in fucking cold weather and shit. And
Right.
One, they
Pale-
called you Pinata.
all
Oh,
pale
your last
skin,
name.
no sun. Yeah.
Not cool.
Yeah, that picture you included in the beginning of me, that's the darkest I've ever been in my life. And in my head, I'm still that complexion. And so when I go like to the makeup counter and they're like, "Oh, it's porcelain." I said, "Stop it." So I don't even wear makeup because I refuse to buy anything that says porcelain on it.
Yeah, I used to be so tan, and now I'm like not. Just
I'm like
I'm
a
just
ghost.
not.
Yeah, I'm so
It's crazy.
pale.
My legs. Oh my
Lockdown,
god.
yo.
Oh no,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is since I was like this was pre-lockdown. Now my skin burns if I go outside. I can feel it.
Vampire starts
Yeah.
burning. Well,
No.
steam comes off.
Like, can you guys not open the blinds? My kids have never seen outside before.
Yeah. So did you start any puzzles today, Mel?
You know, I actually started a puzzle a few days ago, and I'm going to do it later on tonight. I'm doing an Animal Crossing puzzle, and I'm
Oh,
so
yeah?
excited. Yeah. Yeah. So the last one I did was a Mr. Rogers. Like, it's so wholesome. I don't even have like any horror. I have so many puzzles, and they're all just super freaking wholesome, and you know. But yeah, so I'm doing an Animal Crossing puzzle.
Have you
There
seen
go.
that TikTok? That girl, she like 3D, or did she laser cut like 1,000-piece clear puzzle for her friend? And I was like, why would you do that?
Oh my gosh,
That's evil.
Yeah,
I would
all the
never
pieces
have
are
the
clear.
patience.
Yeah.
You know, there's a company in Japan, and they're known for selling like puzzles that just make you really angry.
Mhm.
And they have, I'm trying to think, I think it's like 10,000 piece puzzle, and if there's just a red dot in the middle, and the whole thing's white,
Mhm.
and there's just a red dot. And so,
I want to try that. What is it, like the diamond?
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't
Yeah.
have enough serial killers in Japan, so they make these puzzles.
No, I think that might be what's causing them.
yeah, really,
There you go.
I'd be one after that.
Well, their
Um,
movies are pretty twisted, so you know it doesn't surprise me.
If y'all like puzzles, though, messed up puzzles, they actually do a lot of horror puzzles, and they even have the puzzle. If you've seen the movie Pieces, which is a fantastic slasher, in the beginning, there's like this nudie puzzle that this boy is putting together, and they even have that puzzle that you can buy and put together. So,
Oh yeah.
but messed up puzzles has like Elvira, Creep Show, just really cool puzzles. So,
Yeah, I don't have the patience for puzzles.
I love
know.
them, but I just can't do them with my cats. They love to steal pieces and run with them and then kick them under the fridge. Like, it's the funnest thing in the world for them to do.
I've
So,
lost a few for my cat. Yeah.
See, that would drive me crazy. Like my kids, I don't even buy Lego sets, no matter how bad I want them, because I know that they're gonna take a piece and I'm not gonna be able to find it, and then I'm gonna lose it. Like I be committed and everything because there's no way.
Pat and I started a puzzle last year and we never finished it. We got
A
like
couples puzzle.
What was the
See, that would
puzzle?
be
It was
divorce.
a
Divorce
couple-
for me.
a couple horses running in a
couple
in a meadow. Yeah, running in a meadow. We got like 3/4 of the way.
Mhm.
Then I had this big piece of cardboard so we could move it, and the cardboard started to warp, and then I think we lost a couple pieces from moving it around too often, and then we're like, fuck this shit.
So what you have to do is now they make these mats, and it's just like a felt
You
mat.
can roll it.
Yeah, you have like these like inflatable things, and they work. I have taken them to the beach. I've taken them like on road trips, and they work. So
Have you ever done those 3D
this is
puzzles?
such a dorky conversation. My God.
What's your favorite like piece range? 350 to 1,000?
We went straight with 1,000. Like,
1,000?
yeah, we were.
I like bigger puzzles.
I said that, but I don't know anything about puzzles. I was just...
You got. Well, you can get the little kids ones that are like 100 pieces. Those are always fun.
Oh no, screw that! I go with the 18-piece ones. You know, like
Right.
Snoopy, Charlie Brown
The
fishing with the
4-piece
big, the ones they got at the doctor's office.
Yeah. The wooden pieces with the peg on the outside.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Those are the best.
They make the barnyard noises when you plug them in.
Growing up, I always thought the 3D puzzles were so cool, and I was like, I'm gonna do one of those one day. And I think I got one like of the Earth or something, like a globe. That I don't think I ever opened the box. Like I was like, no, thank you.
I did some. I like those. I did some, but they can be frustrating when you get to the end.
Oh,
So.
you broke out your steamer the other day, your hot dog machine. Right?
I did.
Yeah.
I have used my hot dog steamer like 6 times already. I love it so much. Y'all, I'm a fucking dork. Like, we're outing me right now on the show.
Puzzles and wieners.
Shit, yeah, that's all I'm about. That's
Should
my
have your own
OnlyFans,
live
by the
stream.
way.
Yeah.
That's my OnlyFans. Shameless plug is
probably have
puzzles and wieners.
A live stream of you steaming wieners and doing puzzles. I'd watch it.
Steaming wieners.
Hey, if I could pay the bills doing that, sign me up. I mean,
I've seen some channels, and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure there's a niche audience for that.
that's true. I've seen some interesting documentaries on this stuff. So
On hot dog steamers, or
no, on different types of cam shows that people have. So
Oh yeah.
there's an audience for everything. So
People
see,
who
and
can
like
watch mukbangs scare me, man. Like
I mean-
that is.
I'm not gonna lie. When I'm hungry at night and I know I shouldn't eat, I watch mukbangs because it makes me feel like I ate. Then I go
Wait.
to sleep.
What is it?
You know, like
Mukbang.
the eating shows on YouTube, like the people who eat food on camera.
They don't eat
for,
food,
like,
they eat
the
like
noises?
a lot of food.
No,
With the-
I don't like
with
the
the mic-
noises.
With the
I
mic
just,
right there.
No, I don't
and
like the
like-
ASMR ones. I just like seeing people go to
Oh.
buffets and stuff because I'm like, oh, that looks good. That looks good. And then I feel like I ate like with them, so I just go to sleep. Like it's a psychological trick I have not to eat after a certain time.
You know, sometimes when I get really hungry and I don't want to make food, I open up Uber Eats and I
Mhm.
start like adding stuff, and
Stop
then I
it.
look at the charges, and then I close everything and go make a sandwich, and I've saved like $57.
I have like 7
So.
open carts on Uber Eats because
Yeah,
I swear,
it
I will
works.
just open it up and be like, that sounds good, and I'll just make orders, and then I'm like, wait a minute, $56.
It
Right.
works.
That's a good question. What kind of hot dog steamer
Okay.
do you have, Mel? Is it like the rollers like you see at the gas stations, or is it the Ferris wheel type?
Okay, they do make the rollers for in-home, but they're like $350. So this one is like $50, which is a lot better. But it's by Nostalgic, and it's like really cute and light teal, because obviously I like teal. And you put the water in the bottom. It's like stacked trays. You put the water in the bottom, and then it holds up like 24 hot dog weenies. And shut
How
up,
many do you
Fulci.
usually put in?
Like that, no.
24.
Yeah, no, you could just put in like 2. Like
Yeah.
two's, you can just do 2. You just don't do as much water, and then you put the hot dog buns on the top, and it just steams it, and it's so good. Poor Matt. He's heard about my hot dog steamer like so many times.
Oh, I saw the
Oh, he
it's so
likes
cute.
it.
I saw the
He-
pictures of it, and it's so cute. But I like
It's so
my-
cute.
I air fry my hot dogs. No lie, I like mine a little
Oh.
burnt, a little crispy. So
Yeah.
You like them? You like to
I don't,
have a
I don't
snap?
like wet wieners. I like them a little. Yeah, I like them a little. crunchy.
So I don't even know what this episode's about.
It's about
It's
forgot to ask.
It's potluck. It's for whatever. It's about hot
Okay,
skewers
good.
now. So
Because
We're
I'm
doing
like, I'm in. I don't know what we're talking
We're-
about, but I'm in.
We're doing it. This is it. This is like, it's just wing it. We're just winging
Yeah.
it here. Yeah.
It's the launch of my OnlyFans, and it's great. It's a good night.
You're just holding the hot dog as they come out, the dripping sounds.
Wiener,
Steam coming out.
wiener steamer only fans.
Cookie
Oh,
with
man,
it.
I like
air
that.
fry everything. There's nothing I have
Yeah.
not air fried. You can air.
I've
fry
never done it.
egg. So I have like the Ninja, the grill, the foodie grill. So like it has all these different attachments,
Hmm.
and I can't tell you the last time I actually used my oven because I just air fry everything. And then I taught my 10-year-old how to use it. So now I'm like, hey, go. Don't you want to go make mommy like a piece of chicken or something? I'm like, are you
Get 'em
hungry?
started young.
Yeah. Like I'll project. It's like 8:00 in the morning. I'm like, don't you want some chicken wings? And then she knows how to use it now, so it's cool.
I might have to get one. I got a ricer a few years ago, and I have never touched it ever.
A
And
rice cooker?
Yeah, I don't.
That's my second like must have. Like I use my rice cooker almost every day because you can steam vegetables.
Teach me.
stir
Teach
fry.
me how to use it because it's just there.
Happy
I
New
don't
Year's,
know.
Zod.
Have you
Hope you
tried
get
to
ba-
steam anything else in the wiener thing?
No, but I read that you can do onions and bell peppers, so I'm
Oh,
going
that
to
would be
try.
So good. Yeah.
I'm going to try that.
what is an air fryer? Like what kind of a contraption is it? Because it sounds like something from Star Trek. To tell you the truth, I mean,
It
how do you
is.
fry that?
It's beautiful. Like you can roast, bake, fry, and even even stuff you wouldn't think, like catfish. I love fried catfish, right? But like you like, oh, I don't want to put it in the air fryer. But if you like coat it in like the fish fry and put it in there, it still gets as crispy as if you were deep frying it, but with no oil. So it's like a hot air convection kind of situation, but from all sides. And it's like it's a healthier alternative.
Takes what, 2 tablespoons of oil? About?
Nothing. No, you
None
don't
at
even have
all?
to add nothing.
Oh,
You don't
I
put
thought you had to
anything in
put, like,
it?
You don't
1
have to put
tablespoon.
anything in it.
Okay.
Now, if you want to be like, sometimes I'll put hot oil on stuff for flavor, but you really don't have to add anything. It'll do it itself.
Yeah,
Which
because
is
I'm
like-
a big fan of like hot almond oil with my fish, like the Asian
Mhm.
style. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you just add that to
Oh,
it.
sesame oil. I put that on stuff that I cook all the time. Like, and even like chicken thighs, you would think it would dry it out, but it doesn't. Like, it's super moist and tender. Like, if I'm making enchiladas or like street tacos, like it's still tender. Like, it's not like it like eliminates all the juice from it. So it's like super cool.
But is it like a microwave? Is it like a box that you put the food in and set a time, or like how does it
Yeah.
work?
It is. It's like a contraption, and you open it and you put stuff in it, and then you close it, turn it
Okay.
on.
Speaking of tacos, man, we had tacos the other night. I had some leftover taco meat, and I have these little round molds that I crack the eggs in when I make egg sandwiches for breakfast.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I want to use some of that taco meat, but it's minced meat, so it'll just fall over. So what I did is I mixed it with the egg and put it in the mold and
Yeah.
cooked it. So and it was
You're making
fucking
me
good,
hungry. I'm
man.
about to go make some eggs.
Yeah, it was fucking good, man.
I woke up this morning at like 4:00 hungry, and I swear to you, I put some hot oil on some like thin cut pork chops, and I had a pork chop sandwich. And it takes like 10 minutes to cook in the air fryer, crispy, the hot oil on it. It's a lifesaver. It is.
I'm going to have to check into
I would
this.
recommend if it's on sale, especially the Ninja one, because it does so many
Mhm.
things, and it grills. Like you can grill salmon, chicken, burgers on it. Like, come on, like
So if ever you have
Very
leftover taco meat, man, that's a good way
taco
to
meat. You can cook taco
Add
meat
it.
in there.
add it to your eggs when you make your little egg patty for your breakfast sandwiches. It was awesome.
If you're on keto, you can air fry cheese in there. You can dehydrate stuff in there, make jerky.
What's keto? Is
Exactly.
that like a
I
type
don't
of
know.
martial art?
You eat like
I-
avocado, bacon,
Like
and eggs. from
super,
what I-
super low carb. Like no
Yeah.
carb.
Yeah.
I could ask Pat. She knows. I think Fred knows. Fred's still in the chats. He knows all about all that
Yeah,
shit.
Fred fights keto. He's like, wow, he's MMA and shit.
Today's ad: air fryer and
Yeah.
puzzles and hot dog
Puzzle.
steamers.
Yeah.
So, did anyone watch any movies over the holidays?
I finally watched Candyman, the new one, last night.
How'd you like it?
I did like it. I liked the first act more than the second act, but
Agreed. I agree with that.
yeah, and some of the effects weren't really what I would expect of like a studio film produced by Jordan Peele, but I thought it was pretty solid overall. So, I mean, it wasn't perfect by any means, but yeah. So I thought it was pretty solid. It was a fun watch. I had to watch Always Sunny after to kind of like cleanse my palate because it was like, you know, depressing a little bit. So
Yeah. I
bit
love
dark.
I love like when they're telling the story of the history of like with the little shadow marionettes.
Yeah.
mhm.
That was awesome. I love that
Yeah.
in the movie. I thought
Yeah.
that was a nice touch. Yeah, it was
The
pretty.
Yeah.
Bunraku style? Yeah, I was
Yeah, that was good.
Mhm.
So
I couldn't sleep one night and I watched Sophie's Choice on my phone. That's my winter break.
that is awful.
I know.
I mean, a brilliant movie, but
I couldn't sleep one night and I was like, I haven't watched Sophie's Choice in a really long time. And I started to watch clips and then I was like, let me just watch the movie. It's on YouTube. And I can't believe that I sat there holding my phone over my head watching that depressing shit. And I was like, did I? And it was like 3:00 in the morning and I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, I'm really just, and it made me reflect on my life. Like, this is where I'm at right now. Watching Sophie's Choice at 3:00 in the morning.
sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, it sounds so depressing. Holy shit.
But also like the dresses, like I mean in the New York scenes, not like the other scenes, but like
Mhm.
but I was like, yeah, I've watched a lot of shows, but I don't did you guys watch Don't Look Up?
Which one?
No, did you like
No.
it? Don't Look
It's
Up.
got Leonardo DiCaprio in it, right?
Oh,
It has
okay,
like
yeah.
it has like every freaking Hollywood
It's like
A-lister.
super satire. Everybody loves it, like pretty much unanimously. I think a few of the critics who like didn't like it, there's been a lot of discourse about like how they've been treated online. It's an okay movie. I'll say that. But would I say it was in my top for anything? No.
Yeah, it hasn't really interested me, but I did actually finally start Succession on HBO and this TV show.
Obsessed.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god! It like I've gotten through now the first season. I just started it this week
Yeah.
through the first season, so I'm starting the second. And
So
Roman.
good. I can't wait for no, well, I can't wait for you to catch up with me because
Oh, I can't wait now.
that's like one of the only shows where I'm like every other episode I hate every fucking body. I'm like, all of you guys deserve not to live. And then the next episode I'm like, oh my sweet baby Kendall. I'm like, oh my sweet baby Siobhan. And then the next episode I'm like, all of you don't deserve this.
Brian Cox just is amazing. But yeah, so I love it. I can't wait to do season 2.
Yeah, everyone talks pretty highly of that show, so I haven't started it yet.
Drama's not really my wheelhouse usually. It's just not my thing. I'm really not into dramas, but everybody kept on. I love the entire cast. I was like, okay, I'm just going to watch the first episode, but I just don't expect to be into this. And then by the end of that night, I was like episode 4 and I'm like, God, why do I have to sleep tonight? Like,
You
this
can
is
you
amazing.
can consider it like a family horror. Like, it's a
Oh, it's so
horror show
good.
about family.
Yeah, I love it.
Which is super relatable outside of the money part.
It's really funny. It has a lot of humor
Yeah.
in it.
So
So,
good.
See, we started watching The Witcher, the new season of The Witcher.
Oh, season 2 up.
Yeah, it's up on
Sweet.
Netflix. Yeah, still haven't gotten to the. I guess Jason Momoa is supposed to be in it, but he still hasn't made an appearance yet. So
Oh,
I don't know.
Get all the
Actually
Justice
watch
League or
it.
what?
I don't know if like he's gonna show up like at the last minute of the final of the season finale, and you get him just for 1 minute at the end after hearing about how he's in this fucking second season. And I think we're 6 episodes in, and still no Jason Momoa. So I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I'm a
Aqua
super
Witcher
fraudulent
hanging out
Witcher
with
fan.
Super Witcher.
Yeah,
I'm-
but I've enjoyed the second season a lot more than the first, though. I think
I watched the first episode and I liked it, but I played The Witcher 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have I ever played any other Witcher? No.
Same.
Do I
Only
know
3.
the lore? No. But have I slept with like every prostitute in the land? Yes.
Well, I've
Mhm.
played Witcher 3 and I've never played the other ones thanks to no backwards compatibility on Xbox. So like I don't really have a choice even if I wanted to play them. But
Oh,
Yeah.
you're an Xbox
3 is a
person?
great game.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got an Xbox
I
and
am
I like the
too.
controller.
I don't know, Johnny. I was
The-
a fan of you up until
Oh, don't you start being a Stony Stan with me, man. Like
Look.
honestly.
I think Mel, I think I've seen you post about Xbox before.
Yes, I'm Xbox, PC, Nintendo
Oh,
Switch.
no.
Yep.
I'm PlayStation, PC, and Switch, Mac.
Yeah.
I'm barely PlayStation, and that's it.
I will say, Joe, you better stay on my side.
I had a
so it's
PlayStation too.
I
Like,
just
that
don't
was the last
play
one I
anymore.
had.
Yeah.
I'm waiting
But-
for, but I will
I have a
get
3
Xbox
and a 2.
When Starfield drops. When the new Fable drops, best believe I'm going to be a Switch hitter. I'm going straight to Xbox.
Are they letting
Well-
Peter Molyneux develop that one? Like, is that should be fun.
I bought
There you go,
the
Fred. Yeah.
yeah. I bought the Outer
Not
Worlds.
comics for Red, like for Read.
Oh,
Not
Matt's
having Xbox.
Matt's PS.
Listen, and that's why we love Fulci on this. Come on right now, because
Oh yeah, because Fulci's always on the show. We love him so much
Yes,
because
we
he's
love him so
ever
much.
present. Yeah, he's
Yeah. Then
he's the
he
pillar.
manages-
He's the pulse
the one show he gets to be on this month, he manages to get sick and fucking throw up all over the place like an hour before we have to go on.
But
So
you know
he
what
has
it
to
is?
bail.
It's like people who love PlayStation have such sensitive stomachs. Like if they eat something mid, it's like no.
Xbox, we can just eat everything. It doesn't
You
matter.
guys eat wieners and puzzle pieces for lunch.
Roadkill.
hey
Doesn't
man,
matter.
puzzle pieces are good and they taste like whatever you want them to. You just gotta
like
use your
tofu.
imagination. Yeah, straight.
It just soaks up
Putting
the
ketchup
flavor.
on cardboard and
But
Yes.
I started watching that Wheel of Time show from Amazon Prime, and it's not terrible for a new fantasy thing. I mean, it's very typical. It's a questy thingy with, people walking a lot, but it's pretty fun. You know what I mean?
So
Fred will
they
hate
Walk
it.
a lot.
get past the first 15 minutes then because I watched the intro and I said, I don't know, and I turned it off and I haven't went back to it.
Well, you gotta like traditional fantasy, high concept
Mhm.
fantasy, and if you don't, then you won't like it. But
No,
if
I
you
do, and that's the thing. I just wasn't sure because like I'm so used to seeing Rosamund Pike in certain roles that it was hard for me to be like, okay, girl, like get out of here, you're gone. You know, that was a pun, but because she was in Gone Girl.
Oh,
Oh,
and then
I'm just nodding. Like, yeah. That's
yeah,
good.
Ben Affleck
Now I
crying.
get
That's
it.
about all I remember from that movie. Ben Affleck cried a lot.
And
I
let's just-
rewatched that one recently.
the book. So that's one of the situations where the book is not as good as the movie. And I
Okay.
love Gillian Flynn. I love her, but that was the situation where I felt like she wrote it to be adapted. So it kind of felt a little bit more flat than the actual movie did. But have you watched Sharp Objects? The show on HBO with
Mm-mm.
no Dark Places with Charlize Theron, the movie. Mel, listen, I promise you, read Sharp Objects, the book, and Dark Places. You'll love it. I promise.
Okay.
Especially Sharp Objects. It's one of the only books I can reread, and it makes me deeply uncomfortable as a mom. It makes me deeply uncomfortable as a human being, as a woman. You'll love it. Obsessed.
You'll
One
love
of my
it.
favorites.
I'm gonna write it down in my Animal
Yeah.
Crossing notebook that I
have the
keep
same
next to
notebook.
me.
Stop it. Did you get that box?
The box. So you have the socks, and I have the
Squishy
the wooden
pizza.
calendar.
Yes. So how come my kids lost the actual like month part? So I just have like the two little sad
Aw.
number cubes, and then I have-
Mine's right under my monitor.
and the squishy peach butt.
Yep, I have the
all the
squishy
time.
peach.
I squish it, and the serotonin that I get from that.
Yep,
I'm glad you wrote that down. Good looking out.
I did.
You'll love. I promise. The books are so good. They were like, what are those awards? Like the Bram Stoker Award winners.
Mhm.
Gillian Flynn. Her books are excellent.
Very
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Except for Gone Girl. Trash.
I got Cobra Kai queued up to watch
Yes!
after the show. Like,
I
that's
didn't even realize that was on. Okay.
Oh
When did
God,
that-
I love that
It-
show.
just came out
They put it
today,
on
so
today?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just came
Okay.
out today.
That's a me alone show. Pat doesn't watch Cobra Kai really.
It has-
look at this guy.
Oh,
Oh, and he's
what the
doing the
hell's
Blair
going on
Witch with
here?
us. Oh man, he's so afraid right now. Come on, snot bubble for us.
It's like a lumberjack,
Yeah, a killer lumberjack.
but he has
Fucking-
horrible service. So let's see.
Yeah, we'll see how long he lasts.
A Shrek is love reference.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not making it, buddy.
Like
The
we can
monster
see you.
is right
but-
behind you. Turn around,
We
it's
can
right
see it.
behind you.
I think I could make that out. I'm not sure. Was that? Did you just give us a thumbs up? That's awesome, man.
He gave us a Canadian howdy. That's how you say hi in Canada.
He's gonna have to use sign language, I think, because I don't think his audio is all that great.
Are you muted?
No.
Oh no, I can hear you a little bit, but
Yeah.
He sounds
I
like
need,
one of
like-
those talking action figures from the 80s.
Is he like? Is he hiding? Is he hiding in the broom closet at work or something? What the fuck's going on there?
he's hiding from everybody.
Yeah.
I was curious
Sneaking
about
around.
Yellowstone too.
That's got Kevin Costner in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably lots of speeches going on in that, man. You know Costner loves his speeches.
I thought 1883 and Yellowstone were the same show, so.
They probably are. One's a prequel. It just takes place
Oh,
way
okay.
before the other one.
Okay.
Just guessing. They
Right?
could be different. It's like how I think Justified and Deadwood are kind of the same show. Like Timothy Olyphant just plays his grandpa in one of them.
I secretly love Justified. Like, I have it all on DVD. I went through like a phase where I was obsessed with Timothy Olyphant. And that's
Mhm.
I would just watch Justified and like Hitman. You can't tell me that's not one of the greatest movies.
Oh, I love Hitman, dude. I don't understand why that movie gets so much hate. Like it is great.
I don't get it.
There's nothing wrong with being obsessed with Timothy Olyphant. I am too.
Well-
He's hometown hero. He's from Modesto, baby.
He's got great hair, so it's just a shame he has to have a shaved head in that movie. That's all.
Well, you know, but Hitman is like one of my like stress reliever games.
Like-
You know,
Well, it's
Like-
hilarious because
Well,
like
fun
he
for
plays
that.
such a celibate character, and like
Mhm.
it's just so counter to like everything else you see him in. Like if you watch
Yeah.
like Santa Clarita Diet, he's like this stoned horn
Santa
dog.
Clarita Diet, which should have gotten more seasons because
Yeah.
I was obsessed.
Like exactly. Doesn't he have great hair in that? That's like probably some of the best hair on TV in that. Santa
what do you
Clarita
what? You
Diet.
have gray hair too, Joe.
Not great.
Show,
Great.
show the people. Run your fingers through.
It's not gray hair, it's dandruff.
It's pretty messy.
Only flakes pop on the screen. There you go. See.
Watch the Timothy Oliphant one. Don't watch Hitman Agent, whatever it's called. The second one,
don't-
it's terrible.
Don't watch that one. Watch the Timothy Olyphant one. Yeah. Agreed.
It's a pretty decent, just cheesy action film with some pretty good nudity in it. I do have
Oh.
to say so.
Okay. That's what
like-
you rate your movies.
I like Olga
rewatchability?
Kurylenko. No, not
Oh,
really. Bad action, yeah, but not typically. Not with horror. That's definitely.
Oh, right now I'm still reading Garth Ennis War Stories because Matt mentions Garth Ennis. Oh my God, it's so good. He has another, I think, World War II maybe book coming out.
He likes to
comic
write.
coming out.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah,
He loves.
I
writing
really-
those stories.
yeah. If y'all, I know JP like said he likes history and stuff. I love World War II stuff, and man, he writes it so well. So that's a
And
must read if you're into
Batman
that.
Reptilian. Let's... No, don't, Johnny. Get Johnny out of here. Shrek is not going to visit you tonight. Because listen, I love Reptilian. And Herogasm is one of my favorite shorts within like arcs of a comic book. And I think they said that that's going to be included in season 3, right, of The Boys.
Who cares? That show's terrible. They'll just adapt it poorly.
Can I
like the
be
rest of the
honest?
series.
I've never watched The Voice.
If you like the comic book, don't bother with it.
Okay,
If you
I've
like
never
the
read the
comic, don't
comic.
bother with it.
Okay.
I've never read the comic. I love the show, so I can't really
love
say
the
that.
comics.
You know.
Haven't watched the show, but I heard they were
Yeah.
doing. Oh, that scared the fuck out of me. Somebody just set up a firework.
Oh, it's
But
awful.
we're like snowed in, so like, where did you get that? Like, you walked in the snow to buy that? Like, that's weird. Just
Oh
loud.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, my dog is a mess tonight.
That's ghetto. I'm sorry.
Sounds like somebody's playing a drum out there.
It does, or like beating like on a tin roof or something.
Yeah.
And it's not even like nighttime yet. It's 6:30 out here. So like, what are you
Oh
doing?
yeah,
Go eat dinner with your family.
ours started around 6 here, like the
Okay.
ones around here. Yeah, so
I really
Whoa.
didn't think
Assholes.
it would be that bad because we moved, but we did move to a more like city area. So I don't know, I guess, but
what is Crossed? Is that Innes?
Crossed is Garth Ennis. It's probably his most despicable thing he's ever written. He wrote it for Avatar Press. It's
So that's
kind of a
basically it.
zombie comic, but instead of becoming like undead, your deepest evil just gets unleashed, and basically humanity becomes like these murder rape monsters, man. And it's
okay.
and it's rendered. It's Avatar, so they didn't tell Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows no. So you get to see it all. It's a very visceral comic. So
Did
yeah,
you
so-
like it or not like it?
I love it. Actually, I
Okay,
like.
it was hard to tell.
I couldn't tell. I was like, wait, is like Matt like dialing back in right now? I couldn't tell if you liked it or not. Okay, I'm gonna write it down in my book.
Actually, David Lapham took over for Ennis after the first arc, and his gets even worse. The third book, Psychopath, is probably one of the most disturbing things you could pick up and read. So, yeah, if you're interested in seeing that type of thing, yeah, dude, definitely.
Well, you have the right
Aw.
audience here, so.
That's cute. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
What was it
War
called
Stories, that was
Crossed?
the
again? Crossed. Okay.
the first issue. That was the one about the Nazis in the tank, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
like Ennis even made me feel bad for Nazis in that issue, man. I was just like,
It's rough.
because he's that good of a writer when it comes to
Yeah.
his war comics. Because as good
Yeah.
as he is at doing gross out horror, his emotional war comics, oh my god, they just kick
They
you
are
right in the
so.
soul.
The first segment that I read, it was actually I was waiting for y'all's show to start on a Sunday morning, and I'm like, I'm just gonna read this before it starts. And I get through the first segment, and I'm just like, oh my god, like my heart was like broken. I was like, this is heavy. And then y'all's show started, and it was like a nice little palate cleanser. But
Oh, don't worry. I can make it awful. I got time on Sunday. Don't worry. I got you.
no, it was y'all. That's a good one. And Matt was actually the one that told me about that one, and I'm so glad because it's right up my alley. So.
Yeah, they're pretty hard to get. The last I saw, the trades were out of print, so it's cool you were able to get a copy.
Really? I think this one was actually just at a bookstore in Austin, I believe. So there's a really cool bookstore in Austin. It's my favorite one to visit when I'm there. And it was just sitting there. So I was like, heck yeah. So yeah.
Okay, now I'm interested. What is Sophie's Choice? Is it about Nazis?
It's about Meryl Streep in World War II.
Okay, it is about Nazis.
And she ends up, they go to
She's a
concentration
Pole.
camps.
Yeah, she's Polish.
Yeah, and she ends up having to decide, it's Sophie's choice. She ends up having to decide, does she let her son die in the camp or does she let her daughter die? She can only save one. And she has to pick which
Oh yeah,
child.
one goes to the gassing chambers and one goes to the work camp. And so
Yeah.
she has to pick. But
Jesus, that's terrible.
It's
But
awful.
that's like the end story. Like, so this whole time we're like trying to figure out what is this about Sophie that everybody loves because she has this like whole new persona. And so they're backtracking, like flashbacks, like trying to figure out her backstory and stuff.
It's so
And then it
depressing.
ends, and it's so the ending is even more depressing than just picking which kid to live. And you can't. Every time I watch it, I sit here and I'm like, which one of my kids?
So it's like an even more depressing version of We Need to Talk About Kevin. I gotcha.
Oh,
Wow.
I think she picks her
Talk
daughter,
about
right?
Kevin.
Does she pick her daughter?
Yeah, she sends her daughter to the gas chamber
Is she-
and her son. And I get it because you probably are thinking like, oh, my son will probably have a better chance of surviving in the work camp. But also at the same time, I'm like, I'm so glad my daughter is like 5 years older than my son. So like she could probably look like an adult. Like I don't know her. So I don't have to pick between my sons.
Awful. Awful. Comics Fred, what is everyone's favorite read of 2021? God.
I don't have one.
Mart Vallis, man. Everybody knows that. I mean, I've been yelling it for months.
Some of my favorite reads were actually not from 2021, as I've mentioned, because I've been catching up a little bit. But Silver Coin, freaking loved Silver Coin. Such a great series.
What's your least favorite issue? I won't whisper it because I have a least favorite, and I'm just curious.
So, I think in volume 1, I want to say it was like the second to last segment. But I'm trying to think of because I remember saying that, but I can't remember which one it was. But yeah,
my least favorite one was everybody's favorite.
Which one? 6?
Oh no, mine was the Lemire one. Was my least favorite.
Yeah, the cyberpunk.
Okay, Lemire. That was my least favorite. Yeah, because
thank you
because I remember I was talking.
I was afraid to say it.
I remember I was like, man, like I expected that one to be like one of my tops because of who it is, you know, and I was like, that's my least. Yeah.
It didn't hit what it thought it was going to hit.
I'm interested in this. Meryl Streep is Batman. Yeah.
I really...
She is kind of a Batman figure.
Have her play like old Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond. Like that would be awesome. Terry McGinnis, give me back that suit. I could she could own that shit. Yeah. Bring me back my suit. It's my Batman suit.
She could probably play Catwoman Lonely City. Selena. That would be something. Or is she a little bit too old for that? They talk about rickety bones in Lonely City.
I'm thinking like, maybe like back in like Death
Ashley
Becomes
Judd.
Her.
Oh, Ashley
days.
Judd would probably be a good Catwoman.
I forget she is around. I forget. Even though she's like the star of some of my favorite Lifetime type movies, Double Jeopardy.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Double Jeopardy. Sorry. Double Jeopardy I watch like every couple months. It's one of my favorite movies.
I watch it I do too in the background.
I remember convincing my dad to take me to see it when I was a kid, and in that sex scene on the phone, my dad was like, don't look. I'm like, I've seen titties before.
I got him. I'm good.
I'm good.
Which one is Double Jeopardy?
Where her husband fakes his death and she goes to prison for his murder. So when she finds out that he's actually alive, she is able to kill him and she can't get charged with it because that would be double jeopardy.
Okay.
And it's so funny. She like outs him at like this gala, and it's so dramatic, and it's so good. It's like if you've ever dreamed about having like that's like the ultimate revenge story for like women, I guess.
It is. Yeah.
You mean I can't get charged for murdering my husband? Say less.
Yep. So it's a good one. Not really, but kinda. So trash. Fun trash.
So let's go back to Silver Coin. What was your favorite one of the bunch?
Mine?
Yeah.
6.
The last
now that I finally caught up on them.
Wait, was that?
No, that's not the last one.
Six is the first one. Is the first one of the next.
Yeah, the arcade issue is.
Yeah,
I agree. That's my favorite.
I love Michael Walsh, and after following him on Instagram, I only like to call him Mr. Walsh now. And after following him on Instagram, like I just love him even more. He's such a nice person.
I'm with both. Kelly
too.
The Kelly Thompson story was great.
I mean, I liked them all. Lemire's was just not, but I liked them all.
And I liked Rom's. His was the last one. I really enjoyed that little peek into maybe what is the origin story.
The gambling, the casino one. Yeah, that one was pretty.
And I've never seen like a sex scene written by Rom. And so that orgy scene was like, I thought it was so well like juxtaposed to the human sacrifice. So good.
So I have a
That's what
confession.
you're into, huh? That's what-
Absolutely. Human sacrifice and orgies.
There
Blood
you
orgy.
go.
And hot dog steamers.
And
sorry.
hot dog
Yeah,
steamers.
hot dog.
Blood
You
orgy.
can
Oh,
you
and
can come
sex.
on my cam show.
Okay.
You can be a special
glad,
guest.
glad to co-star.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a confession, and I almost just don't even want to say this right now.
Whisper it.
Matt knows
Don't hear
exactly what I'm about to say. I read the first 4 issues of his Swamp Thing last night. I am not a fan.
Oh.
Did you read the Future State ones first?
Yes.
And you know what? That's I can't even hold that against you because I wouldn't even
Oh my
say
God.
that's his strongest work. But if
Like,
you were,
I'm a
Catwoman
Swamp Thing
is
fan.
fast, I'd be like, get out, Mel.
I
Catwoman Annual 2021 was one of the best single issues I've ever read.
like him as a writer.
Yeah.
That's why, and I love Swamp Thing. I love
Mhm.
Swamp Thing. And I'm like, I finished it last night and I've thought about it all day long. I even went back and kept I'm like, no.
Not a
I mean,
check,
like,
double
every
check.
page is gorgeous. Like, I would put every
Mhm.
page on my wall framed. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Curtains,
But
yeah.
I was just like, what am I missing? Like, but I'm going to continue it. I want to see, but it really made me sad. Like, I enjoyed New 52 Swamp Thing 10,000 times more than the
Okay.
first 4 issues I read last night. I love New 52. I know a lot of people go on and on about, but I loved Snyder's Swamp Thing. But I don't know. I feel like I'm not allowed to say this out loud, but there it is. So
Hey,
sorry.
no judgment here.
What, Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing's longer than a Lifetime special? It should be. I mean, like, he ran. Like, I liked it when it crossed over with Animal Man and they did
Yeah,
the whole
JP.
thing with the green
Yeah.
versus the red. That was pretty badass.
Yeah. Anyway, there's that. I feel cleansed. I feel good. I got it out.
Lemire's Swamp Thing just dropped, and everyone's ranting
Yes.
and raving about it. So
I
I
read the
bought
first
that
page and
on Comixology. I haven't read it.
Yeah, I haven't read it either. I
So-
started it, haven't gotten
I'm
into
curious. I'm gonna probably read that this weekend or early next week.
I started reading Snow Angels. That's for free on Kindle. So I was just like, right on, Lemire for free. I'm on this.
yeah,
That's actually
Done.
that's really good.
Oh,
dude.
today's the 31st. I think Jock and Snyder dropped Book of Evil today on Comixology. Their first team up since Witches.
okay
Mm.
So that should be free on it's a Comixology original.
on Kindle as well. Yeah,
Mhm.
Did you like Witches?
Yep.
I got it. I haven't read it yet. But then ever since I bought it, I keep hearing people say, "Oh, it's so mediocre."
No,
Well, I know who you hear say that.
yeah,
No,
I
you shouldn't
know. That's
listen to him.
what I
It's
was gonna say.
actually not that bad.
go
It's
ahead and
pretty
drop the
good.
name. Drop the name if anybody.
Matt Fulci. Matt Fulci hates that book.
Well, she hates it almost as much as Star Wars.
I think it's because people project it as like one of the greatest books ever, and you can't go into it. Like it's so hyped up by so many people that I feel like it's really hard. Like
But go Severed. If you want to read some good Snyder horror,
dude.
go read Severed.
That's his best
yeah,
work.
yeah.
To this day, that's his best book.
So this is not set in stone by any means, but I think I'm going to be able to interview him for some of his Comixology stuff here pretty
cool.
soon. So I'm excited, nervous, excited about that. So I'll keep y'all
Very
posted,
cool.
which is not great at all. Oh man, I didn't even know you knew about that one, Matt.
You should have Fulci come on and interview him with you.
Yeah.
You want it to become a train wreck? Oh my god.
It reminds me of that part in Knocked Up. Oh, you're Matthew Fox from Lost. Can you tell him the only thing that's interesting about him is he's not interesting at all? I could totally see it going like that.
Oh man, speaking of Lost, I can't tell you how many times I've started Lost and haven't finished it. I've watched
never
season
finished it.
the first 5 episodes. Like if you go on Netflix, they're like, "Do you want to watch this?" Like that's what it says when I click on Lost
No.
because I've watched the first 5 episodes so many times, and I'm like, maybe I'm missing something, so I'll start over again. And I'm like, I just can't get into it.
No, I never even started it. It's never appealed to me. So
I did start watching Colony a couple days ago, and I was like, okay, Lori from Walking Dead, like
Oh, that's that show. Yeah.
Yeah, I did
That's not
start-
good either.
I got back into The Walking Dead a couple days ago because I was like super bored. It was again Sophie's Choice time, 3 a.m. for me, and I put back on The Walking Dead. I'm like on season 8, and when I tell you I did not know what was happening. Look, I've read all the comics, I've watched the show. I'm like, I don't know what is happening right now, and there's still things that upset me about that show, but I don't want to spoil anything in case anybody hasn't watched it. But
I quit it.
What season is it on now?
I think it's over, right? It ended at season 9.
9?
I don't
9?
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah,
season
they
Nine
ran
or
out of
10,
source
I don't know.
material, and I think they finished it at season 9. I stopped watching at season 3. I hated the character Lori. I swore that the
Yeah.
show would get better after she died, and it
Mhm.
got worse, and I just stopped
So
watching
this
it.
isn't a
I-
spoiler
I-
then. My biggest gripe with the show, why did they let Judith live? She should have died. And I stand by that. I don't believe in babies living in the post-apocalypse. She should have died right there, like in the comic book. I don't understand it. Every time they bring her up, I'm like, she's a liability. Kill her. Like, what are you doing? Like, and that was one of the things about the show that has always. I have a secret song about Sasha.
How do you feel about the movie Quiet Place? Then you're probably on the same boat that I am.
Oh.
I'm like, you people are fucking morons,
You don't
dude. Who
know
has
what a
a
condom
baby in a
is?
world like this?
Can I just
There's
say,
no Plan B in the pharmacies you go to.
I mean, if you're having sexy time when there's zombies and monsters and everything else,
Yeah.
you would think that your pullout game would be like perfect.
And
Like
it's
just
not.
fucking
You're
perfect.
like,
Like, why?
Thinking of the repercussions of not, and so a quiet place, like I was into it, but then it took me all the way
Hey,
up. 'Cause I
Serge.
was like, I don't have time for y'all. Y'all doing too much. But
I
Bird
get.
Box, I love.
Besides-
Bird Box is such a good book. If you haven't read the Josh Mallerman book,
I saw the
Josh-
movie. It was terrible. It made actually Quiet
Read
Place
the
look like a
book.
good film. So
read the book. It's so tense. It's one of the most tense books I've ever read. He's such a good writer. So if you didn't like the movie, I would suggest reading the novel. And it's a quick read, but it's like super tense.
I get really anxious with like pregnant women and children and these situations. That's why I haven't watched Quiet Place 2, because I was like, oh my God, my anxiety will be up to here the entire time. So
Based on the commercials, I
crazy.
haven't seen it either, so this is no spoilers, but I can assume that she had the baby
yes,
and that she has a new lover.
Cillian Murphy,
Yes.
who I mean,
The
you
Rat
can't find a
King.
more perfect freaking lover in Apocalypse. I mean,
He was in, what was the name of that movie with the rats?
With
Willard?
Willard? He
Willard.
wasn't Willard.
That
That was
wasn't-
Crispin.
Shh, they're all the same.
All the white men are the same. It doesn't matter.
they both skinny as hell. Whatever.
Fulci, listen, I'm super into infanticide. I'm about it. In the post-apocalypse, you have to make cuts, and unfortunately, fresh off the umbilical cord, you gotta go. You're a liability. And honestly, Lori, just having given birth, you're a go. Like you both have to go. I'm sorry.
She was watching Sophie's Choice. She's like, both. Just walk away clean. Just go.
Listen, if they were like, you have to choose, I'm not. Take them.
Oh, Judith is the baby that. Okay, I was like wondering who the hell. I
Yeah.
forgot
Oh,
there was a
yeah.
baby on the. I quit watching when it got born.
Yeah.
So, and even all the crying Rick Grimes, I loved watching Andrew Lincoln cry because it was so hilarious. I couldn't even watch the show for that anymore. No
'Cause
more
in the
stand back
comics,
choral.
He falls
none
on
of
the
that.
baby, and so the baby
That happens,
dies.
I guess.
And
I
then
mean-
she gets killed, and then she falls on the baby, and the baby dies. So it's like all good. It's like, okay, wrap that up real neat. You know what I mean?
I made it about 15 issues into the comic, and oh my god, that thing is so boring. So, like, yeah, I made it
no.
way further on the show than I did in the comic.
I've been
Like,
rereading.
I am
the
not a fan of that
deluxe edition.
franchise. What's up?
I've been reading it in because they re-released it, the deluxe edition in color, because the original run was black and white, and it reminded me how good it was, and so like, it's okay, Johnny, I get it. I just got into Invincible this year. Like I'm on issue 50 something now, but when I tell you how hard I went on finding all the hardcovers for like the deluxe edition,
Fred would rather watch Lord of the Rings straight up.
They're making a show next year on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fred hates Lord of the Rings.
He does?
Yeah.
So does Matt. Are we all shocked?
Matt, hates
Matt
Lord of the Rings,
loves
Star
Lord of the
Wars.
Rings. He hates Star Wars.
You're right. He does hate Happy.
I told you. You said the other day, man, you really like describe him as grumpy a lot. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. Like, he's such a grumpy person. I mean, he owns it. It's not like
So
I'm
the
shit talking.
my introduction to Lord of the Rings was, so my dad, he was like a real character. He's who got me into comics. He was a comic book collector. But like the National Lampoon had a book called Lord of the Rings, and I thought it was Lord of the Rings. So Dildo Baggins, I really thought that was his name. So when the movies came out, I'm like, this isn't funny. And it was because I had read the National
Dildo.
Lampoon version.
You've never seen it. Sit down.
I've never seen, and
Sit
that's one of
down.
my things that I've always wanted to be like, oh, I've seen all of Lord of the Rings, but I haven't seen it because it wasn't funny.
It's pretty funny. You just got to watch it in the right context. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be misconstrued, and you could see it in a certain light if you wanted to watch it that way, and it's quite funny that way. Just kind of think of how Kevin Smith would watch the movie
Okay.
and enjoy it that way.
So much trash talking on Lord of the Rings. My gosh.
Oh no, I love it.
Hobbits. No, I'm looking at comments.
You know what? I'm gonna watch it this year. I'm gonna watch all of them. I'm gonna watch the director's cut because I always see memes about the.
I have.
cuts.
I've done it. So I've watched the extended cuts all back to back. I started at dinner time
Yeah.
and I went all night long and had breakfast and then I was able to sleep. And it was like a great night. It was so fun.
Like with Star Wars, which I know is Fulci's favorite. I've only seen like the Anakin movies. And I know my brother is like a super like Star Wars fan, but I'm like, I just can't get into it unless Hayden Christensen is in it.
I love Star Wars.
And when he kills those kids, I'm like, say less.
Did you watch the first episode
Boba
of
Fett?
the Boba Fett? Yeah.
I was not that impressed.
No.
Look, I
that's-
saw Mel post about it, and then she didn't do a backup post. So
Did
I
you
couldn't
notice
post
that?
on it.
I actually started to. I was like, well, I didn't enjoy that one. But then I was like, okay, I'm just going to delete this because I don't want to talk to anybody about it right now. So I deleted it.
Yeah, you did.
That's how I felt when I watched Hawkeye. I was just like, man, this is bad. And I was gonna write. I wrote a thing on Twitter, and I didn't even post it. I'm like, I'm not gonna catch this shitstorm later, and just
Yeah.
close the app. Like,
I don't think we need a fleshed out Boba Fett character. I just think we need to leave him as he was, this like cool, mysterious bounty hunter, and just kind of. I mean, it was a mess. And I mean, it was Robert Rodriguez directing it. Like, what happened? John wrote it. Like, I don't even know.
what they should have did is they should have carried on with Timothy Oliphant's character from The Mandalorian in Boba Fett's armor and just had him be the new Boba Fett. Now I'd have watched the hell out of that show.
I loved that part. I love that episode.
Yeah,
When
the
he was
Western
introduced.
episode. Yeah, he
I
was
haven't
the
watched-
sheriff. So
Oh.
good.
I think the only Disney Plus show I've watched this year is WandaVision.
How come everybody be watching iCarly Vision? It's okay. It's not the worst
iCarly
one. Hawkeye is the one.
Vision.
Listen, iCarly on Paramount this year was fantastic. No lie. No lie. The reboot.
I'm pretty sure it's better than WandaVision, so I'll agree with you on that.
I
front.
loved WandaVision.
Yeah,
thought
I
it was
love
okay.
WandaVision too. I think but you know what? I feel like it knew who its audience was gonna be, and it appealed to like that emotional, like let's leave logistics aside. Let's focus on
But-
emotions.
I don't know. The only problem I have with WandaVision is
It was too sad. I get it.
no, she's a villain. she's a villain. There's no way she's a hero.
She's a villain, but she doesn't know her own strength.
Yeah,
She's no
whatever.
Aw.
Like everyone.
Did
makes
you
her
hear that
out like this-
emotion?
House of M is one
Like,
of my favorite
everyone-
storylines. in
Everyone makes her out to be this big victim, and yet she takes a whole town hostage, tortures all these people, and anytime someone tries to like, anyway, she's. I
You
can't
wouldn't
see
do
how.
that for Pat.
What's that?
You wouldn't do that for Pat. Take a
She
time.
Oh.
Don't even go there. She kills Vision. When he doesn't agree with her, she tries to fucking kill him right away.
Well, I
Like what
agree
the
with
fuck?
that.
It's not
Listen,
about love.
agree-
Vision
agree with
shows
my
up, and then she's like, Then he's like, you can't do this to people. And she's like, I'm going to kill your ass too now. And this whole thing was supposed to be for him, and then she wants to kill him after.
Yeah,
Like,
because he doesn't
come on.
listen.
He doesn't listen.
Play along or get out.
Like, fuck
Oh
that
my
noise.
God.
Kids started to question.
Fuck that
Trump. I
noise.
said, this is not your place to question. You don't even exist. Shut up.
Anyway, I enjoyed Winter Soldier more. Then it went downhill from there.
Soldier.
Yeah, I didn't mind
liked-
that. I thought it was
I
pretty
liked
good.
it.
But I love Wyatt Russell, so man, I thought he was great in that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then Loki really fucking went. That was a dumpster fire right there.
Okay.
I highly recommend
haven't watched-
Hitmonkey on Hulu. Now that's the MCU show people should be watching, but nobody's talking about. Man.
And
Hitmonkey.
MODOK. I did like that.
Yeah.
But I just think Patton Oswalt is a murderer, so that's a personal thing though. It's not a just the show.
The views expressed on the Pink Buzz are not those.
Wait, what?
Man, we got Goose saying stuff all the
Okay.
time. We can't get mad at Elle.
I need to have a side conversation about this later because I don't. That like went over my head for a minute and I had to think about it. I was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm. Listen,
I need to Google
expressed
this.
to Johnny and Joe before how I feel
Yeah,
about Patton Oswalt.
we can have an off-air conversation about this.
Because like outside of comics, like I secretly have like a thing for comedy, like, and so like Scott Aukerman, he wrote the Mojo issue for X-Men Black, one of the best issues ever, single issues. Comedy Bang Bang is like my favorite podcast, like jam, like, but Patton Oswalt, man, listen, My Favorite Murder. You've listened? You've listened to the podcast? He's been on there, and I just don't trust him.
Hey.
All right, we got Sam in the house. How you doing, Mr. Schlepsy?
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all. I've got my little smoky wieners. And
It's a wiener kind of night, guys.
It's a wiener night.
did I miss wiener talk before this?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
we had a big conversation about hot dog steamers. It was awesome.
Oh, I thought we were just talking about wieners.
Wow.
Take it how you want it.
Phrasing.
Oh, that's true. Man, shit.
So I see the gang's all back, and
Yeah, man, how's it been?
Yes.
I don't know. For me, it's been slow. My high school coaching gig has been taking up so much time. I barely have been at the board for the last couple of weeks.
So tournaments have been coming around and stuff, and
Just a lot of yelling at teenagers.
What sport is it?
Princeton, New Jersey.
What do you coach?
fencing.
I coach
Fencing?
fencing.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Fencing,
wearing
yeah.
like coachy gear
Oh.
right now.
Uh,
So I
Right.
teach children ritual violence with swords.
The only kind of sport I condone.
I feel like that would
Yeah.
have been my thing if I would have had exposure.
No, I love my team. I yell at them a lot, but I love the team. We're kind of like half varsity, jockocracy, and half Harry Potter fan club. It's I am we're the sport with all like the geeks and nerds, and
Mhm.
I totally own that. Like they take off their fencing gear and they've all got like Star Wars shirts on that day or something.
yeah.
Heck yeah. Awesome.
They're great kids, and they get to find out a little bit about themselves and that part of life, because nothing really brings out your personality like having somebody try and stab you.
I would
when-
imagine. Yeah.
That's when you know who you really are.
Yeah.
So does anyone make resolutions for New Year's?
Oh, I was gonna ask you
I
guys
make
that.
resolutions every day.
Right.
Yeah, I've come up with two for myself. One, I'm gonna try to listen to a new album every week, because last year I don't think I listened to any new music at all. I just kept really listening to the same old stuff I have. So I'm gonna try to make it a point to listen to a new album each week. And another one is I'm gonna try to draw every day if I can.
More penis doodles or
Yeah, no, just anything. Even if it's a little, like a 5 minute sketch
little
or
little wiener?
something, like
Okay.
just pick up the pencil and at least try to pick up the pencil each day. And even if it's like a 5-10 minute sketch or something, and try to just do that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
good.
I've been doing the same, but not drawing penises. You know, I saw your gallery. That was pretty impressive. I mean, I've been in men's rooms that weren't nearly as well decorated as your wall.
I
His,
mean,
his Green
we're
Lantern is so good, right? The Green Lantern pecker. Like, oh man, that's my favorite. Probably my
and
favorite Green Lantern ever. I've been watching your 1 minute videos
Canon.
though. Sam, they've been really fun, man. Really
yeah.
intuitive too.
Well, I hope they help because like when I get done with it, it's like, did I really teach them anything?
No,
Yeah.
your butt cheek drawing game is peak top
I've
notch.
not done a butt cheek tutorial, but
Oh, I mean, if
You should.
You should,
I-
yeah. Based on the other account, you know, I would pay.
yeah, I mean it's you just draw like a couple little curves and there they are. You know, I don't think it's me. I think the human mind just wants to see butts and things.
No, I agree.
You know,
All the time.
you just like put like a couple little moon shapes in there, and people are like, hey, look, that's a butt.
Pareidolia. Yep, it's a real thing.
Did you say areolas or Aaron?
No, pareidolia. It's a thing in your brain that makes you see familiar objects when it's like how people see the Virgin Mary in toast and,
Oh,
and shit
okay,
like
I
that.
got you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So I don't make resolutions. The last
No.
Do
so
it.
here's
Do
the
it
thing.
now.
1 year I was like, I have a lot that I want to accomplish this year, and most of it was for my publication. So I actually wrote down for the first time my resolutions that I was going to do and my goals, and I was so pumped. I was so excited. It was fucking the beginning of 2020, and the entire world went to shit. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. I wasn't
It
able
was
to do
your
one of
fault.
those.
Yeah.
It was. I was like, okay, I'm never doing this again. I'm never making
The
resolutions.
way I
again.
hunted down that Disney Princess Happy Planner for 2020, and then everything stopped in March, and I said, I just wasted 9 months of money.
No kidding. No kidding.
You could draw
Yeah, I
butts
was-
in it though. It's like
Yeah,
the
I
whole
mean,
Every day.
I gave it to my kids because I was like, go ahead and draw whatever. I don't
Draw
care.
princess
right?
butts in there.
Those are like
Yeah.
$24, right? I mean,
Those like depending on they were
Yeah.
and they were hard to find because they were like limited and then you could only get them at certain stores and
yeah.
that was
I almost bought one this
disappointing.
year, but I'm like, I'm not going to because I am doing like a voluntary lockdown because
Mhm.
everybody I know has COVID. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just staying inside. Like, I'm
Yeah.
scared.
No, it's not
So-
me on Michael's looking at every single planner ever made for tomorrow.
It's tempting.
That's what I do.
See, I almost never do resolutions. It'll probably be the first time in over 10 years I've done some, so we'll see how it goes,
You have
I'm
good
right-
ones. Stick with it.
I'm right there with Mel. I mean, like last year, I was like so on top of the world. I was like, yeah, man, Nerds from the Underground, we're going to take over. 2021 is going to be our year. And then January came and I got COVID. And then Fred got sick and Nerds from the Underground broke up. And I took a lot of time to develop this show. And then, it just. I don't want to put a negative spin because I'm having a good time on the show, but this wasn't particularly a super fun year for me personally. It's going to be so I guess my resolution is to try to have a resolution for myself, to actually strive for something besides just be positive because that's all I have at the moment.
I don't know. I'm a milepost guy myself. Like I used to bicycle semi-competitively.
Okay.
Before I realized I just wasn't built to be a real competitive bicyclist. But I'd be like out on a training ride, and it's just like I'm gonna push past that next, telephone pole, and then I'm gonna push past the next telephone pole, and so like you just keep seeing a milepost, you hit the next milepost, and you move on, and that's kind of like how I do my resolutions, my goals. I just see like the next spot ahead of me that I want to get to, and I charge to that. When I get there, I find another spot to go beyond that. So it's not like the year is like the day that I set it. It's like you know, I see an accomplishment, I hit that, then I go on to my next one.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
that's how you run your marathon.
Small
I only
victories.
ever do reading goals. Like I use Goodreads, so I only ever do like novel. But this year I was like, I'm gonna read like 500 floppies, and it was like so funny because once I got to 500, I just stopped counting. I was like, oh, whatever. Then I'm mad because I'm like, oh, if I actually counted after 500, I would actually know how many I read. But I usually just do reading goals. I don't do personal goals because I already know how I am. Like again, like I'm pumped the first month and then whatever. Don't care.
Goes down.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like the milepost. You don't set it at the
Mhm.
beginning of the year. You just keep setting them as you
Mhm.
move on.
As
Yeah.
you go along.
Yeah. And but I really feel Joe's like listening to new albums. There's so much great music coming out right now. Um, I'm like a XMU listener in the car,
Mhm.
and I hear like these new bands come up, and like you know so much stuff. Like I cannot listen to enough Wet Leg these days. Um, they're astounding. I mean, especially if you love like classic irreverent punk. Um, but I
Wet
just keep
leg.
hearing new stuff, and it's like this is so cool.
Well,
And
that's the
Yeah.
opposite of me. Somebody posted like that Beach Boys was better than Beatles thing on Twitter this morning or last night, and I was like, wait a minute, let me go check, and I was like, oh wait a minute, I know every single Beach Boys song ever made. I know
Mhm.
every single Brian Wilson and and I was like, I don't know, but I'm such like a stickler for stuff I already know that it's like really hard for me to listen to something new.
Yeah, that's why I want to break out of that routine,
Hmm.
This, yeah. The problem
Mhm.
I have is I like to listen to albums, not just songs.
Right.
And I find it so hard to find a band that actually puts together a really solid album nowadays.
Hmm.
Because back in the day, they sold albums. Now
Yeah.
you just go on Spotify, you get the one popular song that plays on the radio, you add it to your playlist, and that's the way pretty much it works now. But
Yeah.
back in the day, if you wanted to make it, you had like the only way to get their song. You could buy singles, but I mean, selling albums was the way to go. So they had to make sure that the rest of the songs that accompanied that one hit on the radio had to be really good. They had to put together a solid package. And now I find they can get by just with a YouTube video, one song with a cool video, and they make
Hmm.
millions doing that.
Well, and then you
Right.
had like the prog rock bands that did like the concept albums.
Hmm.
Join
So you had like
join
Pink Floyd.
Bandcamp. Like they do full albums on there. It's not
Yeah.
just a one song thing. Bandcamp is a really great social media platform where you can just straight up buy the music from the people who make it too. And yeah, it's got everything from hip hop to black metal to people who do jazz. I mean, Bandcamp rules.
There's some really cool stuff out there.
Sorry to
Part of
step
it
on
is
you, Sam.
what's that?
I said
Oh,
I'm sorry to step on you.
oh no. I mean, I grew up in a time when like the prog rock concept albums were a huge thing. You know, um, that and discovering when I was in college, discovering like bands from the '70s like Jethro Tull and such that
Hmm.
like every album was just like this huge concept, like Thick as a Brick or Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die. Like the album was composed as like a story, or like Alan Parsons, work, really did that. I sometimes like go like all like old guy on like the kids because they don't understand like the difference in how we consume music when we were young
Yeah.
and how you or any media, how you consume it now. Like you remember, like if you wanted to listen to something that was not like popular,
You had to
right?
find that special record store or
You
shop
had to
that
find a
carried all that.
record
That
store, or you knew
yeah.
a guy whose cousin was in the army in Germany and copied a tape and he brought it
Sent
back,
it. Yeah.
and you have like those little cassette tapes that's like
Yeah.
the fifth like clone of some, some techno band that, or some punk band that you read about in the magazines. You can't find their albums anywhere.
Yeah.
And you really had to like, go out and like kind of,
Hunt.
solve a mystery.
You
to find
literally, yeah. Like when I lived in the city, man, I had a few record stores where when you heard something, or like a lot of the music I heard was through snowboarding videos or skateboarding videos, and a lot of it, like you said, came from like European, because there's a lot of Swedish and guys who snowboard and stuff, so they had a lot of songs from Europe. And man, like some of the songs, like you couldn't find the albums. Like I'd go to all these little indie shops, like indie music shops, and man, you really had to run around and hunt down music back in the day. It's but that was part of the fun too, because when you found it, was that ever such a rush? Oh yeah, man, that was like the biggest rush you could ever get when you found that fucking album. And you're the only one of your friends, right? You're like, look what I found. And you're like,
everyone's like, can I copy that?
Yeah. Then you're the coolest guy in the world. Yeah, you're the coolest guy in the world for about a week. Until they all get a copy, then they fuck you. Never talk to you again until you get the next cool album.
and until you go on. But it was this adventure to find things.
Yeah.
And kids don't get that. It's like, I want to listen to Japanese hip hop. It's like, well, now I got 500 hits. Or any kind of nerddom was just like really weird. Like, remember what it was like to watch anime in like the mid 80s.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I don't know, but yeah.
I remember how hard it was in the 90s. I mean, I remember we used to buy they had VHS tapes that maybe had 3 episodes on them, and they were like $90 a piece.
Or even on like when it would be on like Sci-Fi, and you'll watch like one episode of Trigun every 3 weeks because you had to watch it live if you wanted to. It was hard to get up every Saturday.
The only anime, so I remember my friend Rebecca in high school, her brother went to Japan for like an exchange student thing, and he came back with some anime, but apparently it was like all like XXX, and so like
hentai.
So
say it loud.
A teenager came back to Japan with hentai.
He did, and so that was my only time I've ever seen anime. And she and I and 2 other girls watched it. Like we're like 15 watching it in her room, and so she had to explain to us like why things were blurred, and I was like, I don't understand this. And that was the only time I had watched anime until I was in my mid-20s.
And you're like, what the hell?
You thought all anime was.
I did. I was like, this is anime. I'm like in like rural Texas. Like I have.
What's that movie called again, Johnny?
Legend of the Overfiend, and that's actually not even really hentai. That's actually like a straight up. I mean, it's hentai-esque, but
yeah, that was like my only exposure to that world for a long time, and I was just like, okay, that's what it is.
How is Legend of the Overfiend not hentai?
Because it has like
considering
a plot,
what he
I guess.
Now, he said.
I watched Sword Art Online, so yeah. Which is way worse.
Kind of a plot. The plot being, how can we find random tentacles in a park to assault some women?
That's only the last half, Sam. Come on, don't be a prude.
The last half of every 15-minute second of Legend of the Overfiend.
So I don't think I watched that, but I think I might tonight.
You never seen Legend of the Overfiend?
That's what you're going to be doing at 3 o'clock in the morning. She's going to be there with her phone over her head. Oh shit, this is good.
Tonight, but,
it's no Sophie's choice, but it's okay.
Other choice.
That's like some of the like OG, tentacle stuff. I think that's part of like where it started.
In America, at least, that was the first we ever saw it. Me and my friend group.
I think I first saw nudity in comics in like heavy metal. My dad collected it, and I just thought it was like, I'm like, oh, this is so edgy, and I would show my friends like, hey, come look at this.
Let's see, I got.
First I saw was Tim Vigil. Straight up, I saw my friend had a cover of a Faust book that he got at a comic book store in San Francisco, and I was just like, Jesus Christ! Because if you've ever seen a Tim Vigil cover, he does not shy away. Think like Money Shot X-rated
Mhm.
covers, and like that's how that dude rolled. So yeah, I was just like,
Yeah.
dude, there's a demon
Yeah.
Padinger on this book. How did that get
A
there?
demon Padinger.
This is the
A
boy
dinger.
that corrupted my
Happy
mind.
New Year, Ray.
And
Happy
Ooh,
New Year.
X-Rax! Yeah, man.
ranks.
That's nice.
I would sneak peeks of him on the newsstand when my mom wasn't looking, and this this you know beautifully rendered, super violent, hyper violent robot is what ruined me for life. That led me on the path to take me to where I am today. Followed up by Rick Veitch's Abraxas and the Earthman.
Mhm.
Well, your ranks short that you did in your Schlebstig COVID era book is magnificent as well. So you have actually got to revisit your
Oh,
corruption and do your own little spin on it, which was a lot of fun.
I've done a lot of like little ranks bits. I do want to finish that short because it was like kind of to be continued.
Mhm.
But I just love the whole world, and it I don't know, it was just such a shock to see it, and the way it I think it had a huge influence on everything else that came after it. Um, like the first ranks things were coming out in Italy in like 1979, and then Libertor like started doing it in 80, 81 is when it came out in heavy metal in the US. And I can only imagine that Verhoeven saw that, and that was part of the blueprint for like RoboCop and things like that that came out shortly thereafter.
I think
Because
I think it probably also inspired a lot of manga as well because he kind of embodies that whole big dumb tough guy robot aesthetic that you see in stuff like Appleseed and other
mhm,
mangas, cyberpunk mangas that came out afterwards. And I know Atomo and a lot of the other guys were inspired by Mobius and stuff, so I don't see how Ranks couldn't have inspired some of them guys as well.
yeah, no, I just think there's that particular kind of dystopia that he inhabits that's like just rife with drug addicts and candy colored commercialism, and everything's a product, sort of thing that you see in that Ranks of Rocks world, that shaped like I'd buy that for $1, and in RoboCop and all those dystopias that we saw that were that 80s, neon colored semi Tokyo drug addled thing. Ranks Rocks is the first instance of that I can think of. um, I mean, you have elements of it and kind of that pre Star Wars sci-fi stuff, but nothing like that embodying that commercialism that you saw. I mean, that's my thought.
Yeah. And it kind of probably spawned the whole cultural media reverence that you see in a lot of European comics because there's a lot of that to it where they kind of really make fun of commercialism um, in a lot of the big guys' books. So yeah, that would
Yeah.
be neat if that's actually what started that.
Well, I suspect that there's a lot of them riffing off of like the '60s counterculture, and sort of rebelling against like the happy hippies and saying no, like everything is fucked up. Everyone's like taking heroin and dying, and it was pre-AIDS, so you know that part of the world hadn't really changed. That it was a different time. Like things were weird, and it shaped a lot of things. And I think that was like a natural progression from the excesses of the '70s before the AIDS crisis, and the party was over. Um, because like that was kind of like the '80s, the mid '80s when the AIDS crisis hit. It was like Barty's done, free love, free drugs, free everything, and not free, shit just
It
got
all
real.
it all
And
has a cost. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, and you know, it was a really cultural change that hit that whole like counterculture side of things. Um, it was an interesting time to be a youth because that was when I was a teenager. I graduated high school in '86, which again reiterates the fact that I'm impossibly old.
What? We all graduated in '86, right, guys?
Yeah.
85.
So
You know,
you actually got to go see like the class of 1984 in the theaters, like when you were in high school. Like, was that a big movie for you? Like, did you dig that?
No, I don't think I knew about it until a few years later. Again, because you didn't have ubiquitous media everywhere. It
Right.
was,
Yeah.
Right.
and I grew up in like middle of nowhere, Oregon. So
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, where did you even grow up?
so if you're familiar with the state of Oregon, it's that space that occupies the west coast between California and Washington that's often forgotten.
So the
Um,
entire state.
the entire state, and it's a huge state.
Well,
but
I'm a Los Angeles transplant, so I live in Seattle now.
okay,
But I did take the train a couple times from California to Seattle, and it is like just a big blanket of California, Seattle, or Oregon that is just like, where are we?
you pass Portland and you go south of there, and it's just like there is nothing.
Hmm.
And like as you're heading, there's that transition from Oregon to Northern California, and you
Mhm.
don't know. Um, because it's just middle of nothing. You got to
Right.
go like another 500 miles into California before you hit anything.
Hmm.
People don't realize how big California is.
It takes forever to get through California because
I,
I'm from Orange County and then
Mhm.
Los Angeles. And when I tell you, it's like the same with Texas, I think. Like when you're driving through Texas, it's like, why are we still here? We should have been out of here a long time ago.
I can drive about 12 hours south and about 12 hours east, and I'm still in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And California
So-
is the same way. Like it takes like
Yeah.
8 hours from like Los Angeles to get to like Sacramento or like
Yeah.
Gilroy or something, and then you're still in California.
You're in the
You
middle
still
of
have to get
California.
out.
You've driven north, and you're
Yeah.
you're just hitting the middle when you hit Sacramento.
Yeah. So
I mean, you're not even hitting the middle when you hit Sacramento. You're still
I
south.
didn't. Yeah, I think it's like a 36-hour train ride from LA to Seattle.
Yeah.
And when we even got to like out of California, I just remember everybody clapping, like finally, we've made some leeway.
Yeah. I've driven the length of it a few times, and it was long, and most of it there is just full of nothing.
Hmm. Beautiful scenery, beautiful. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful trip, but
Um,
nothing.
I went to college in a place called Klamath Falls, which is close to where Gravity Falls is based,
Okay.
the cartoon. Which is not fiction; it is a documentary. Most people don't know
Filmed
that.
in real time. Yep.
Animated live. Yeah,
That's
but-
one of my kids' favorite shows.
It's a fantastic show, but it's
Yeah.
a documentary. It's not fiction in any way.
And all of those, they have all of those like books, like the mythologies, where it's just like drawings and like
Mhm.
little things. And I get my kid to read it, and she's like Googling constantly, like, is this real? Is
Yeah.
the Illuminati real?
If you go to Grants Pass, they have that giant like fiberglass Paul Bunyan,
Oh man, I'm gonna have to take her. I
In
didn't
the
know
middle.
that.
and
yeah.
there's a place called the Oregon Paradox,
Hmm.
where they have a mystery shack. I think it closed a few years ago, but
Mhm.
it's a place where there's an optical illusion, and they used to do spots on it. Optical illusion that if you're on the road and you put something on the road, it appears to roll uphill. It's like a perspective illusion that
Oh, it's like Mystery Spot in San Diego or Santa Cruz, kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
It happens in a few places, but they had one in Oregon, and then there was Thunder Beast Park that used to exist on the highway outside of like Crater Lake,
Hmm.
which was a giant fiberglass dinosaur park. Um, but yeah, there's just the weirdness in Oregon. But I went to college in a place Klamath Falls, which is like in the shadow of Mount Shasta. We were 16 miles from the California border there. So yeah, it was really in the middle of nothing.
Yeah.
But it was a very weird place, and we would drive to California to go get booze because uh, California, like you can buy booze everywhere,
Hmm.
um, and in Oregon you can't. So like the liquor stores are all run by the state, and they close at like 8 p.m. on Friday. And you're in college, who is buying booze before
Hmm.
8 p.m. on Friday? It's 10:30 at night, and you've run out of beer, and you need to go get some. So we drive to California and go get our beer.
Oh, I relate because I did not know that in Washington there would be hour laws for. So I try to get all my errands done before my kids wake up, but I can't until 7 because that's when you
Hmm.
can buy wine.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
not like
can you
California.
explain something about
Hell's-
Washington to me, Elle? Like, what is up with the lingerie coffee shops? And they aren't
Oh,
even coffee shops; they're
and
just
they're
like crappy
so
drive-through little
popular.
shacks.
And they have like the best, like you can get like these Red Bull slushy things, like
Hmm.
you can get like these like drinks that are caffeinated, but they're not coffee, they're not energy drinks,
But
but they're like somewhere in between. But you will see like nipples and butt cheeks,
how did that
cute,
even
cute
start, though?
little
Like, who
servitors.
wants to serve coffee like that? I
Look,
mean, I'm
I
just
don't
wondering.
know, but when I tell
well,
you there's one on every corner,
Oh, I know.
there's
I
no.
lived in Tacoma for
Yes,
I worked up
exactly.
there. So, and
uh,
they're everywhere. There's more
Hmm.
of those than there are pot dispensaries, and that's saying
Hmm.
but
something.
I figure, you sit there, you're like, Hooters works pretty good. It's a pretty popular franchise.
Yeah.
And, people love their wings, but people love their coffee too. So they're probably like, hey, I
But
mean, I'm sure
I've
people would like
That's
to
never
look
what
at,
we need.
yeah,
Lingerie
people like,
hot wings booths.
and I've
like,
never
Joey,
buying
you're a
coffee.
genius. You're a
But I also would never buy like food from there because I'm like, there's too many body parts out for you to be making me a
oh,
sandwich. But I
hot
will
wings.
go there for like they have like these like Red Bull drinks that are pretty decent. And so I'll go there and it's like you're just supporting, just like you would
Single
tip a
moms.
barista.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and multiple moms.
Yeah, but
So
also
it's
like
it's nice.
Johnny, if you lived in Tacoma, I think the answer is obvious why people do that. It's just a Northwest thing.
I thought you were gonna say like you don't see titties everywhere, so
In
might as well.
I don't know. My experience in the Pacific Northwest is there's a tea bar everywhere.
Yes.
See, out here we got 24-hour porn stores with free showers for truckers, which is even more terrifying. I'm
Free
like,
showers for truckers.
yeah, free showers for truckers. I'm just like, yes, that's what I want to do is go watch porno in an arcade and then take a shower with this guy. Like
But you know
that's
what? I might just stop there just because it's funny. You know what I mean?
take
that's
a picture
risky
with the sign
business
at
right
least.
there.
Hey guys, I'm here. Make a vlog.
I'd watch just to make sure you lived. I would watch.
Yeah,
I'd have like 9-1 dialed and like, okay, come on, Elle, you can do it. Get out of there, girl.
The water still hasn't gotten hot.
Oh
Hey.
man.
Just saw a comment from Randy about how he used to stomp in stomping grounds in Oregon. Which stomping grounds in Oregon? I mean, because I've lived all over the place, and I still haven't lived in all of Oregon. Like Eastern Oregon, I never lived out there. Nobody lives out there. Sheep live out there.
is that over by like where it goes into Utah?
The southern part, yeah. The northern part goes into Idaho.
Okay,
And-
that's probably where I've driven through Oregon. That's probably the most of what I've seen. Like, cause when I went from Florida to Tacoma, working, and we just drove all the way up, drove through Wyoming into I think Idaho into Utah into Oregon and then up into Washington. And yeah, Oregon was pretty, but like you said, there was nothing there. But there was less in Utah. I mean, there was less in Wyoming. That is probably the biggest nothing I've ever driven through. It just
Wyoming is empty.
Yeah, it's just mind clearing because you just look and there's just space everywhere, and it makes me believe that there's no way anybody has ever seen all of it, and I believe that there could be Sasquatch and aliens and all kinds of other shit up there because like it is just massive and it just goes on forever.
But
It
have you
seems.
been in the Dakotas?
No, luckily I've heard they're pretty terrifying. So yeah.
The Dakotas are even more empty than Wyoming, and Idaho's terrifying.
My sister just moved. She's been there for 22 years. She just moved 2 weeks ago from there, and I'm so glad she's in North Carolina now. I hated going out to Idaho to
Yeah.
see her. So
And that's one of those states where I have to Google every time where it's at. I lived in California for so long that now that I live in Washington, when people are like, "Oh, you're adjacent to," and I'm like, "Am I?" I mean, because I'm
are,
so
but it's
used
a
to
long
being
ways
next
away.
to Nevada
Mm.
or Mexico that when people are like, "Oh, you're right by," I'm like, "Is it? That's that close? I don't know. Could it be?"
Well, you ever
me?"
get out to like Spokane? You're practically in Idaho if you get out to
Oh,
Spokane.
that's like when I see that on the map, I'm like, that's like a whole like, because one of my friends came out for the summer and she was like, should I fly to SeaTac or Spokane? I was like, why would you go there? That's like the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
Uh, kind of. My grandparents lived in Spokane, so we used to go out there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, our darker image guy, Mark Darden, he's from Walla Walla, so
Okay.
like, and that's really the middle of nothing.
Yeah, no, see, when we moved here from Los Angeles, we moved to Spanaway. And then we moved to Puyallup, and now we're like based in Auburn, so like just south of main Seattle, like downtown Seattle. And I don't know how I ever lived in like Spanaway and stuff. I'm like, couldn't go back to that kind of stuff. Couldn't be
Yeah.
me.
But I mean, for comics making, do you find the Pacific Northwest is kind of like a fantastic place for those ideas?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's such a weird place to live.
It is. Especially coming from like Los Angeles, and then I went to high school in Atlanta, and then I'm from California. I'm from Orange County.
Mhm.
Went to Atlanta for high school, then came back to Los Angeles, and now I'm in Seattle. And it's like, it is such a weird place. Like it's always gloomy. It's a little bit depressing. I've seen local people post stuff that I'm just like, I get that. Like, I'm with you. Represent that sad shit. I'm with you. And but it's like, and then with all the serial killers, and then you read all the backstory, and I'm right next to Green River.
Yeah.
And my daughter, like, unfortunately, I accidentally let her listen to every single murder podcast ever. So she's just like,
She's like,
we're
why
right
did they
next
all
to
happen
Green.
here?
She's like, we're right next to Green River. I'm like, he's not. I don't think he's like.
It's all right,
active.
baby. It's worse. It could be worse. We could live in Florida. Like there's actually more of them there.
And I threatened her, like, if you don't clean your room, I'm gonna drive you by Ted Bundy's childhood home. And she's just like, I don't want to go over there.
You know,
So
he was in one of my mother's art classes when she taught in
Really?
prison. Yeah.
oh man, listen. And it's like the worst and the best because I get to threaten my oldest kid with it, but like my younger kids, they're probably next, because they grew up here.
They're going to be weird. Now, here's an interesting thing. When my wife moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, and that's where we
Mhm.
met. One of the things that she noticed is like she thought everyone on the West Coast looks weird
They do.
because we, like, on the East Coast, like, you got like the Italians and you got the Pollocks and you got the
Yeah.
Irish, and they all look like something,
hmm
right? You look at a guy and you say, oh, his family's Irish or whatever, and
hmm
you come out to the West Coast and everyone's like all mixed up. We don't look like
Yes.
and she was like, why do you all look so weird?
Look, I feel discriminatory because look, so like I should be the one, like, because I'm black, like I should be the one that's like, oh, you don't belong here. But I'd be looking at people like, I don't know, you're a little shifty. I don't think I need to be here. But when I tell you, and then it's so crazy too because like you don't know like who is a resident and who is transient in on the West Coast because it's
Mhm.
like the couture and the culture is so much similar that it's like
And
I don't know if
everybody's
you're
just
gonna sell
talking
me
to themselves.
drugs or
You
Well,
know,
I
some
gotta,
people are
I,
on the Bluetooth, some people are talking to voices in their head.
yes.
People are doing both.
I got advice for people that are into construction that might want to go to Washington. Don't go if you don't have a license in that state. They will fine your ass, and that's what happened to me when I worked in Tacoma. So yeah, don't do it. Like,
Mhm.
Really?
so yeah, that's one way to keep a transient out of Washington.
Tell
Just
them they
know that you don't
don't
have
get
a
fined.
license in that state. Yeah, you're gonna get in trouble for working
Yeah, if
there.
you don't have ID, they're gonna.
No, like a work license for it. Like I was doing electrical work,
Oh,
and yeah, I got stung hard.
yeah. Well, don't come up to like New York either, because the unions will get you.
Oh yeah, I'm afraid of the Teamsters
Trying
after
to
what they
keep
did to
out the
Hoffa.
riffraff.
Yeah. I
You're next.
when I was running facilities, we were always union shops, and so I know I'd like be in one of my buildings, and I'd have a screwdriver just for whatever, like to fix a cable or something, and the union guy's like, "Why are you carrying tools? You don't get to carry tools. I got the tools. You need something fixed, you call me. I get the guy from the union. He comes up and fix it. You don't carry tools."
But also, if you're looking for work, come to Washington because every city is they're building so fast out here that like if you are licensed genuinely, like when I moved to Puyallup, it was only my condo, and I lived there for a year. By the time I left, the entire like area around me, complete houses, like the entire, and we were living there. Listen, the middle of nowhere, $2,500 rent, ridiculous. So
Yeah,
like, if you do genuinely do work in that field and you're looking for work, get licensed in Washington because
yeah,
they're constantly building out. It's disgusting because I do want to see the mountains, but I mean, it's work.
yeah. Now looking at West Lynn, Caves Junction, Mount Angel, Grants Path. I know all those places. I grew up in Independence, outside of Salem. We
Mhm.
used to do track meets with West Lynn. Um,
I thought I was so cool the first time I went through Salem. I was like, yeah, I'm in Salem. Not even thinking that it wasn't like the
why
other
would you think
Salem.
Salem was
I
cool?
know because I wasn't thinking like, oh, like
Was it
Salem,
because it's the capital, or
Massachusetts.
because there's cigarettes named after it?
Because I was thinking of the other Salem.
Salem, Massachusetts,
Or
the
the New
witches.
Salem,
yeah.
I
Massachusetts.
was like,
With crystal ball.
this is so cool.
Yeah, Salem,
funny.
Oregon is not like Salem, Massachusetts, except for the racism.
Well, you know, and who
You
doesn't
know,
love a
the
little
the
a little
bigotry is
prejudice?
there,
A
but
little
none of the
prejudice.
old world charm.
Yeah, exactly.
So Sam, how was your Christmas, man? Did you get you
Oh,
anything cool?
no, I've stayed
Thunder
home.
Manure.
Hey, hello. No, I stay home. I did get to draw a little bit, so working a couple pages of stuff. Unfortunately, not working on all the pages of stuff I need to be working on, but worked on some other stuff. So I'll have stuff to post soon. And my daughter came to visit, which is always a joy. She's in Canada, so you know, fantastic having a week with her in the house, and having some time off. A break from the stabbings.
Just a quick question: how's chicken going? By the way, it's been a little bit since we got an update. I was wondering if you had
Um,
any good news.
um, not a lot. I mean, again, not a lot of anything has been happening. Just the 15 hours of extra time on my feet with the high school, and the bureaucracy that has come up because basketball sucks, has sucked up so much of my time. It's insane. School districts are just stupid. Um, and this is a comic books podcast, so we like to talk about comics and not how sports ball sucks.
Oh, I like to talk about that because I'm a nerd. I'm a real one too, not these fake nerds that watch sports and stuff. Like I couldn't even tell you.
You know, but yeah, basically, many hours of my week were taken up because our basketball team is bad. Um,
I think
and
right now creators should not feel pressure to create. Like right now, you know what I mean? Like it's been a year, man. It's been couple of years. Just
yeah, I love it though.
take a
I
week
mean,
and breathe.
I I love it, and it's been actually really pressing that I haven't been able to be more productive because I love producing. I love the drawing and the writing and so much stuff. I've got another horror thing like cooking in my head because I can't focus on the things that I need to be working on, like chicken, and another nun story with the cat, and there's this Elvis thing that has got to get finished. So much
It's a
work.
great
So much
that's a
fun.
great range of topics
Oh,
there.
that's why I love Sam, man. He covers all the bases. He's got really cool and you forgot El Chica Tigre, my favorite
Chica
of your
Tigre.
creations of this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's a derivative work. Um, but yeah, no. The other day I was drawing a uh, Hulk versus Wolverine comic because Jim Rugg has got the
Grand design.
Yeah.
grand design coming out, and uh, I've got kind of my own ideas about the Hulk and about Wolverine, and the comics have kind of ruined those ideas for me. But you know, the basic concepts are pretty open. I can do that, so I'm doing something that is a Hulk versus Wolverine comic that is not the Hulk versus Wolverine.
So they're
You know,
hugging.
it's the Hulk versus the Slewverine. Yeah, well, I can't say Badger because Badger was another comic. Um, the Wombat. You know, but a lot of times like the Hulk has sort of evolved into like this kind of weird thing, and I always like the idea that he wasn't necessarily like the concept of the id, which is kind of like the baseline of the Hulk, where he kind of fits into that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the id versus the ego duality. But I always like to think of him and some of the other like people as forces of nature that the Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Yeah.
You
Um,
guys don't have to talk to
but
me. Fine.
but forces of nature, like the Hulk's like an earthquake. He shows up and like everything is destroyed, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a thing that happens and devastates an area without intention. And in that kind of embodiment of the rage against everything, and I kind of felt like Wolverine was sort of the same way, that he was better personified before they went into the whole you know knowing his history thing, that I liked it better when no one knew, right? That he wasn't Howlett or whatever, James Howlett
Right.
or whatever his origin story has come out with, and bone claws and you know um, things. I didn't like that development. I liked it when he was a mystery because he was a force of nature. He was a unstoppable thing. Also just something that happens, and um, having those two things just kind of clash, like a earthquake runs into a cyclone, and what happens when a storm fights a geological event, which the analogy really falls apart at that point, because that makes no sense whatsoever.
I like it
But
though.
neither does the boss or
But
yeah.
Is this going to
but
be a short, or are you going to develop it kind of as a single issue size type story?
it's probably short. It could be as much, but I need to move on to a lot of other things, so I just need to get it out of my head and move on. So it'd probably be like a 6 pager, um, where the bulk falls from space, and boom, and you know, meeting our angry old man up in northern Canada. Um, that is not Wolverine. Is similar but legally distinct from. Um, and then chaos ensues when that I kind of envision in this one that Wolverine is like this, like the not Wolverine is like a place and a time that doesn't want to change, and then this agent of change falls down on it, and you have and this is where the analogy comes together. You have the storm hits the shore, and neither of them are going to go anywhere until they just kind of find peace and come to rest on top of each other. So that's my concept, and that's how I envision the two things coming together. A vast amount of violence that it wears itself out until they find some rhythm where they can exist.
Mm-hmm. That's
Um,
interesting.
and then I did a Hit Monkey sketch as well.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I love that show too. By the way, it was probably my favorite MCU thing that came out this year. So
Isn't
funny.
that fun?
Yeah,
I'm
it
so
was.
angry I didn't think of Hit Monkey.
John, you
Danny
said
Way, man. A
besides,
lot of people overlook
besides
him.
Hawkeye, right? You said that was your actual favorite.
Hawkeye, get out of here with that.
Hawkeye.
WandaVision fan.
Hawkeye.
iCarly Vision fan.
iCarly was dope.
I love that you
Paramount.
said that as like a
Paramount.
diss, and she's like, "Wait a minute,
iCarly
iCarly
was
here."
amazing.
iCarly was actually the reboot for iCarly was actually pretty good. No lies.
I mean, if we talk
I've never
about the
seen
sack,
it.
we're
You've
all
never
going to
seen
bust
the
out
original
laughing.
or the
sack.
reboot?
Mm-mm. None of it.
Mel, listen, it's super corny. It's a spinoff of Drake and Josh. Drake and
You know,
Josh's
that stuff,
sister.
though,
The
it came
rapper
out-
Drake.
I'm older.
No.
I'm older than you, and I think that
Unfortunately, no.
I think it came out like when I was just past all that because I'm older than you, and
Well,
so
but I was past that too. So I'm 32, so it wasn't that far. I had younger siblings though, so I was up to date on that stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I will say
Makes
that the iCarly Paramount series is hilarious and timely, especially if you're of age. It has cussing and sexuality in it. It's funny. Like it's
Whoa.
funny, especially if you were into whatever.
Cussing and
It's
sex.
funny. Johnny, get out of here. Johnny, you're
Wasn't
blocked.
wasn't the rapper Drake in like a bunch of crappy kid shows though?
Yeah, Degrassi.
Degrassi.
That's Canada. That's
The
Joe's
next
problem.
generation.
That's
Yeah.
Joe's problem, not ours.
So the
I didn't
actual
watch
Drake,
that.
though,
My sister watched it.
Drake
Yeah.
Bell was
the,
in
the
Bell.
Drake, isn't he like in Mexico now because he had like a child endangerment or something?
No.
I have
He
to
wasn't
catch up
in-
on this.
iCarly isn't about him. It's about his little sister.
But we mentioned Drake and Josh, and I think that guy is like banned to like Mexico because of something with kids.
But,
I don't
and then
know.
He changed his name to like the
Yeah.
Spanish spelling of Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to look that story up. Obviously, I just kind of caught a little bit on Twitter.
Yeah,
But
no,
Yeah,
but
no, I,
you're absolutely right. But I will say that the Paramount version, it has Lacey. She's from like Scam Goddess. She's a comedian. It's hilarious. It is actually genuinely funny. It's probably more funny if you kept up with the show from when you were younger, but it is funny. But don't even think about Drake and Josh. They're not a part of it at all.
Yeah.
I think
No,
they
kids
realize
watch-
they're like, no,
watch the
let's
show.
not include those toxic pseudo pedophilic men in this series. They did not include them at all.
I do love though that he changed his last name to the.
What was it, like Campano or something? He changed his name to like he changed it to something in Spanish.
Holy shit! You and I are way more entertained by this than anyone else on this panel.
I just don't.
You want to
I have-
have a watch party?
I have no idea who it is, so yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Drake and Josh, you guys don't know the Nickelodeon series?
I do.
Oh fuck no!
I'm
my
sure you
kids
do.
were the
because-
right age.
yes.
They watched it, and I watched it with them, and
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious.
Mhm.
It's funny, and then the transition to iCarly, and iCarly was brilliant. I loved iCarly, and
Mhm.
then my youngest daughter went on a binge watching the Sam and Kate.
Yeah, or Sam and Cat.
Sam and Cat,
Yeah.
with Ariana Grande.
hmm
Um,
And
which-
Sam isn't in the new iCarly reboot because what's her name did not want to be an actress anymore.
yeah,
Not Miranda, the other one. I forget her name, but she was in an awful teen show after. It was an awful like dystopian show, and ever since that show, she was like, "I don't want to be an actress," and I'm like, "I don't blame you."
yeah. So no, I've watched all those a lot, and they're funny.
The iCarly reboot is honestly, it's really funny. And genuinely funny, not just like funny because oh man, I'm aging myself here. Huh?
I'll take your word for it.
You're probably like the youngest one here. It's okay.
Yeah,
You guys, I'm the oldest one.
32. Nuh-uh.
You're like, not you defending iCarly.
Well, you're more than half my age, which
Thank
gives some
you.
credit.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah. Because
You're older than Goose, so that's cool.
You know,
That boy depresses the shit out of me. Oh my god. He's like the type to post one of those memes of like, oh, remember back in 2005 when you went to video stores with your
Yeah.
dad, and you're like, what the fuck? I like had my own apartment.
Yeah, I went to video stores in 1985 with my dad.
because I'll be making jokes at my husband. He's 37, and I'll be like, man, I can't imagine being born.
When I was a kid, it was you had to decide whether you wanted to go VHS or Beta. Like that was
Same.
when I was
Only
a kid.
rich kids had Beta though. Like it was always VHS for most people. I mean, like I don't think most people had that quandary. You know what I mean?
I
Unless
do
you were-
remember the transition from VHS to DVD.
Yeah, I do
I'll
too.
give you guys that. So I was young, probably. Maybe I don't remember. Maybe it's just like a.
I remember laser discs; those were happening. Except for nobody.
Well,
bought
the
them.
big ones,
Yeah.
the size of a record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the big
Yeah.
laser disc.
Yeah.
But
I didn't-
I guess
I didn't know anyone who had those.
I was pre-cable was me. So
Well, I
you
was
got
poor, so I was also pre-cable.
because you got like your 5 channels on
Yeah.
the airwaves,
Yeah.
the dial,
Yeah, we.
tunk 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 tunk, and then you had to twist the little thing to adjust the tuning and move.
Yeah.
Hence why I know Sam and Cat and iCarly, but not anything before that because I couldn't afford to watch Nickelodeon before. I remember
Yeah.
Richard Scarry, PBS.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was like my wheelhouse.
watched a lot of PBS.
Yeah, for sure. And even now they have like my kids still to this day like prefer PBS shows like Word Girl and
There-
stuff like
There's
that.
some
to, like,
fantastic
the big-
shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Like for the kids, like Cyber Chase was, I
Mhm.
love Cyber Chase for my kids. That was a great show.
Yeah.
And well, I think they showed Redwall on PBS, and that was amazing.
hmm
And what was it? My daughter used to watch this show, Pig plus Cat. That was
I love Peg Plus Cat. It's
that
so
was
cute.
so much fun,
It's so cute.
and it was so smart.
But
27.
Word Girl, all of my kids, even my youngest, he's
Mhm.
4. Even he knows the theme song, "The Word Girl." But Peg Plus Cat was like right around my 10-year-old. She loved Peg Plus Cat when she was
Mhm.
little.
Yeah, my 11-year-old was Peg Plus Cat was right in
Hmm.
her time, and
And then Caillou. Oh my god.
oh
One
God,
year I legit spent weeks trying to find a Caillou plush. And I know that's Canada, Joe, so I know Caillou probably has a special place in your heart. And I spent so much time trying to find a Caillou plush doll. And when I tell you, it took me like 4 or 5 weeks to find a Caillou doll for Halloween. For Christmas. And then I
I
finally got it, and my daughter was like, "I don't like Caillou." And I was like,
Me
no.
too, Fred. Me
"You better
too.
love Caillou."
I remember Double Dare from when I was really little, but that's kind of the
Yeah.
only old school Nickelodeon I remember watching. Like,
Oh.
I never really dug kids programming except for like, I don't know, cartoons.
I
But
think my
like,
Fraggle
youngest like adult memory is like that
Fraggle
Tales
Rock.
from the Crypt episode with the
Yeah.
twins.
Did you guys
And
was the raccoons Canadian or did you guys have that?
the who?
The raccoons?
That feels
No,
racist, Joe.
That's Canadian.
that is Canadian, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has to be.
that was Canada only.
Like Cat
yeah,
Dog. Do
raccoons.
you remember Cat Dog?
I remember Cat Dog.
That's like my childhood was like Cat Dog. Not wild crats. What's the word? Wild thornberries.
Yeah,
Wild
Rugrats.
Boardberries.
Wild
Who?
Thornberries.
What?
The who?
I've never heard of it. My bad. I'm just
Wait, how'd you say it?
at first I thought she was talking about the band that had like Roy Orbison and Tom Petty and all them people there, but they were the Traveling Wilburys. It's
That was
kind
the
of close, I
Traveling
guess.
Wilburys.
I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, I was like 6. I don't think I've heard of that.
But no, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers was in Wild Thornberries.
And
Oh.
then Rugrats in Paris, like that was like when I was a kid.
And
Wild
Markers.
Wild West was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, and to this day I don't understand why people hate it so much, and I still know the rap word for word.
Are you gonna do it?
Look a while. No, I'm not gonna.
But did you watch the original?
I have no idea what it is, but listen.
So listen. So my dad was older when I was growing up. Like he died when I was like 14, but he was much older than every other dad alive in my world at the time. And so like I Spy, Wild Wild West, like stuff like that. I grew up watching like Martin and Rowan's Laughing. I grew up watching that kind of stuff. And so to me it wasn't like dated or anything because it was just something
Did
that I
you
watched.
watch the original Wild West? The
Yeah,
series?
yeah, but go ahead and rap the Will Smith song.
I know the South Park one that Cartman did. Well, I'm a badass cowboy living in the cowboy day. Yippee yo scratch yo yo bang bang. Me and Artemis Class go says summer high from a big metal spider. A wiki whack. First cowboy from the west side.
Now I
Fuck.
can remember it. It was like a while. It was
Jesus.
like Wild Wild
That's a
West,
deep cut
Wild
there,
West,
man.
Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want none of this 6 gun in this brother running this buffalo soldier. I told you, none of you damsel will be in distress. It's embarrassing. But when I tell you, I can't tell you how many Western bacon cheeseburger kids meals I ate when I was a kid, so I can get all of the toys from Burger King.
That's all. They had the best toys.
Yes.
Let me show you something that was a Burger King kids toy.
Okay.
Look at this.
Yes.
Look at that.
That's
This is so
terrifying.
cool.
Vampire
It's crusty.
Mm-hmm.
And the cape comes off.
Yeah.
Like, you would never get a toy like this today.
No.
Never. Look at that.
Burger
That's
King has
amazing.
the best. And I know McDonald's has some like iconic stuff, but when I was growing up, all of my friends they were all trying to get like the Burger King toys.
They were the.
Or the
I even still have a
watches,
watch of The
yeah.
Simpsons. It still works, and it says, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" It just says it on repeat. Burger King was. I hate their food, but they had the best toys.
Whoa. Let's not talk about Burger King though.
Sorry,
I
can only eat it drunk, and I never get drunk anymore, so I can't eat it.
Well, that's my whole life, but I don't do their chicken, but like the Whopper, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Sometimes I need like a breakfast Whopper And they're like the only place open for breakfast that sells burgers. So it's
I like
like,
the
oh.
Whopper. I'm not a Big Mac fan, so
Yeah, I'm not a Big Mac fan at all.
all
The
it is
only
bread and
burger I can
lettuce.
eat at Burger King, I mean at McDonald's, is like the dollar burger. Like if I'm desperate.
I'm an Arby's fiend. If I'm gonna hit like
My
fast
10-year-old, we
food,
just had Arby's today because my 10-year-old, anytime you ask her, like, what do you want to eat? Beef. What is it called? A beef and cheddar? That's all she wants to eat ever. And then you can get the crinkle fries with like cheese sauce. That's the only thing she ever asked for.
Aw.
ooh, this is a deep cut right here, man. Yes, I do. I've loved them. I actually have a couple stuffed animals from like when I was a kid of the California raisins.
I have a
man.
big toy on my, but if I stand up, you'll see that I'm wearing like a mullet where it's like, this is okay, and then like the
Mhm.
bottoms are not, so I
we're
can't
not
really
here to
stand
judge
up.
you.
You're Porky Pig in it?
What does that mean?
You don't
Wait a
have
minute.
pants on.
Okay, I
You got a shirt but no
do.
pants.
I do. I
That's
do,
solid
but
jacket.
I have bottoms on, but they're nothing I would show on the show.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed
But I have it up there. I'll have to
Reindeer
show it
is
to you
one
later,
of
Fred.
my
I'll have to put it in
favorite
Discord.
California
Sorry for putting you on the
raisins.
spot, El. Mel. I'm
Right
sorry.
on. No, we
Uh-oh.
used
No
to,
worries.
We're all
go to
the
the Will
same,
Vinton
just
studio
Mel.
in Portland because they had a little museum there
Really.
with the Will Vinton creations, like from that era.
Will Vinton, listen, my dad, so I told you, I said earlier my dad passed, I was 14, but we had this Christmas tape growing up, and it had like the Will Vinton Christmas stop animation special. So it's not Christmas to me unless I've watched it, and luckily it's on YouTube now. I've had the DVD, but it's broken every time I've gotten it.
Mhm.
But like I cannot, it's not Christmas until I've watched the Will Vinton Christmas claymation animation special.
I have some VHS of
Yeah,
the claymation.
it's
Yeah.
absolute like joy to the world. Like it's not Christmas until I've watched that.
You know, JP, I hate pants. But I do have I have
Yeah, no.
something on. It's just nothing that I would want to show this audience or anyone here. But
Mel,
um,
if I'm home, the first thing I do, my kids are the same way. The first thing they do, take off your pants.
Just
I don't like
drop
to
trowel. Yeah.
I don't like to wear socks. I don't like things around.
No
Just
socks, no pants. I'll wear a hoodie though, and my husband will be like, "How can you say you're cold? You're wearing a hoodie." I'm like, "But I'm not wearing pants or socks." So
well,
you really gotta pick and choose.
anyone
What are
who's
they gonna do?
anyone who's ever seen my Instagram, you've probably noticed I'm always like in tank tops
Yeah.
or like these. I have probably, I don't know, like 30 because it's all I want to wear. I need a tank top or spaghetti strap. I don't care what it is outside. That's what I wear.
I have not worn
Furry, right?
Agreed.
Does he wear, what does he wear? How does he get the tail?
That's what I'm saying. See, for me for Christmas, like,
I
have you guys
can't
ever
believe
seen
I fell for that so hard.
the animated movie the Snowman? Like that one is what I watch, and I used to have the VHS tape, but like I don't have a VCR anymore, so I watch it on YouTube. I still cry at the end though, man. When the little boy comes out and it's melted, I'm just like,
Mhm.
deep cut, man. And then that beautiful "I'm walking in the air" song, like, oh man, it's such a beautiful cartoon.
I
Like,
think
they don't make
told
them like
Mel
that anymore.
before, the Bartman I consider a Christmas song. So like it was on the Bartman I grew up on. So like when I tell you, even my kids now, they're like, oh, they'll sing it, but they think it's a Christmas song because I grew up with it on the Christmas tape. So it's a
Yeah.
Christmas song.
I
Yeah.
wear gym shorts all the time, man. Like basketball shorts or gym shorts. Like I look like a drummer probably. Like I just got a metal shirt on and some gym shorts.
If I go out, I'm in tights. Like I don't wear anything that buttons and zips. Like I'm only in my jeans are actually tights. Like they just look like jeans. I don't care. I have so many jeans. I mean, so
feel-
many pairs of tights and
especially
leggings.
since
It's all.
quarantine happened, especially since like COVID happened.
Woo,
I
yeah.
cannot tell you the last time I've had to button something. Even like bras, I wear like bralettes. Like there's no way I'm gonna fucking put on something that makes me uncomfortable and then go out in public. It's not gonna happen.
It's changed things. Sorry, we got used to the good life. There's no going back. Yeah. Yep.
I've got a whole collection of brightly colored tights that I wear. So
Yay! I love tights.
yeah,
You ride
it's
bicycles though, right? That's why, right?
uh,
Or
No, it's just the
Like,
lifestyle.
don't
no, I
destroy.
just wear crazy tights. It's so hard to find like interesting tights for men though.
Hmm.
So I'm wearing my black and white like tattooed tights that people think are actual tattoos too many times. They think I'm just like head to toe.
He's not wearing pants. He's just wearing tattoos.
I'm just wearing ink.
That's one way you can get around it, right? You just tat up, then you'll be like, yeah, I'm wearing
No,
pants.
they are in fact tights. They're really comfy. But no, people are like, are those tattoos? It's like, no, these are tights. You can see where they stop very clearly at my socks.
Oh, their ankle length.
You know,
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. With a hem. Very few people have hems tattooed on them.
it's a stylistic
little
choice,
bows.
but yeah.
The little bows on the thigh.
But
Yes.
no, it's always hard to find like fun tights for men. Like most often it's like, all right, color, here it is in camo. It's like, who wants to wear camo?
I feel like they'd be expensive too. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but because they're so niche, I guess, and they like to upcharge all of that. But
Just to brand it a certain way, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't buy really expensive ones. I'm cheap, so I find the deal.
me too.
Do those Under Armour clothes that like the guys wear at the gym and stuff count as tights? Because like I would totally call those tights.
Yeah,
No, they're
Yeah.
compression shorts. That's what they call them. That's their workaround.
Yeah,
compression
yeah.
shorts.
I used to, for hockey, I used to wear them all the time, so.
but they were boring, weren't they? They were all like just black.
Yeah, I just had the black ones.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they had a little gray,
Aw.
That was boring.
No little pig.
Wow, gray, you're going crazy.
Yeah.
No,
Not a big.
I don't think I'm flexible enough to get it where my camera can see them. So
Yeah.
I mean, you never know until you try.
I don't know what Pat would think if I started wearing bright colored tights all the time.
So you're trying to be comfy like her. Like
I
maybe if you
do
buy
have
his
some-
and hers.
I have some tights on my Etsy shop that are like all covered in tentacles that I drew. Those are really cool. So plug in the shop. Like check.
There you go. Yeah, that's what this was leading to. This was leading the segue to plug your shop. Yeah, I wear tights.
I'm about to go on there right now. And see.
I wear
I'm
tights
all
all
about. I'm all about shameless promotion, man. Heck yeah, that's great.
But yeah, there's a company called Printful that does like print, drop ship printing of custom printed objects. So I've done like some stuff on there. But yeah, you'd probably dig them. The tentacle tights are really cool, and then there's the
They're super
octopode.
cute. They are super cute, no lie.
And
There's octopode girl tights too.
Yeah, I see them.
Ooh.
The only thing with it is I got teased growing up for having thunder thighs, so I don't think I could fit the sizes.
They come in multiple.
Thunder thighs
sizes.
are in though. Like that's like
it looks like
they're
it goes
in.
to extra large, and I think my thighs are a little bit bigger than
do you have any with bums drawn on them? So then
Yes.
Al could sport the Schleppzig bum.
the shape.
I've got the set that's got all the octopode girls.
Okay.
They're so cute though. I'm not even gonna lie, like they're super cute.
I have to go look. I have to now. That's funny.
Even the jackets and the tops, they're super cute.
But yeah, they make a pretty good product. I've got samples that I've had made for myself, and they're well made. Unfortunately,
Very
I can't
cool.
wear the octopode girls out because of the boobies. I get in trouble with parents if I wear that sort of thing.
I'm just wearing them around the house like this is my house. I won't wear these here.
But
Yeah.
that is that is the fun part of being an artist, is you just kind of create like whatever.
Hmm.
But so much
Well,
fun creating.
I can't wait to see Joe in some. It'll be great.
Now I have to go order some.
Gotta sew a little pigtail on the back.
Yeah.
I'll rip it.
A little
I'll rip it
octopus
off. I'll rip it off the pig you sent me, and I'll sew it to the back.
thing. No.
Aww. So what's
Yeah.
everybody doing for New Year's tomorrow? You want to do anything
Hiding.
fun? Yeah.
Cleaning the house and just gonna rent some movies.
Watching Cobra Kai. I mean,
Yes, me too. I can't wait. I love it. Johnny.
I think Green Knight is on Apple TV's.
So good, dude.
It's Apple
Yes, watch
TV's
that.
movie of the week, so it's like a 99-cent rental. So we're gonna hit that up, and then I don't know, maybe a few other movies. We'll see.
Nice. I have cleaned every New Year's Day in like almost my entire 30s, I think. It's just, I don't know, something about New Year's Day. You just kind of feel like, oh my gosh, Christmas needs to go away. Everything needs to go away.
Mhm.
My house needs to be clean. Like I just get like manic.
Well, me, it's more Pat. Pat has a routine. Saturday is cleaning day, and
Yeah.
well, it just happens to be Saturday. So
Aw, you got screwed
Mine's on
over.
Sundays usually.
Yeah.
There you go.
Saturday.
JP's doing it too.
Yeah, this is a kind of funny Saturday because I'm not coaching all day.
there you go.
Because
all the
it's
days
like a
are the same
marathon
to
on
me,
Saturday,
so.
so I go from 8 a.m. till like 8 p.m. solid coaching on Saturday. So that is my busiest work day of the week.
Wow.
Lots of stabbings, but it's fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I just cannot wait for Cobra Kai. I'm just gonna do that and cook, and that's clean, and that's about it.
No, I'm probably going to draw and play video games with my youngest.
Oh, which game?
Yeah, she's been itching to kick my ass in Mario Kart.
Yes.
Classic. Yeah.
She got a Switch for Christmas, so she's been Animal Crossing and Mario Karting like for days now.
Uh-oh.
I've had lectures with my 10-year-old. Like, if you mess with my Animal Crossing village, it's gonna be a problem. Like, just live there. Don't mess with my villagers.
Oh my god, I'd go crazy.
Don't mess with.
If you go looking, you can find Phoebe's place is Your Mama Island.
Okay.
Your Mama Island. It's out there.
Your mom. That's funny.
Yeah. Or is it Your Mom? I think it may be Your Mom. And like you named your island Your Mom.
Like, my sons are 4 and 5, and they just like really got into the Switch. And when I tell you I have 2,000 pictures from Bowser's Fury, because they didn't know how to work the controller at first. So my memory is just filled up with pictures of them screenshotting stuff from Bowser. And like, my 4-year-old will come to me, he's like, I'm trying to play Bowser's Fury. And I'm like, get out of my face. I don't care.
Aww.
And they already broke the Joy-Cons. I've already had to buy like the handheld controllers, like the wireless ones.
Mhm.
And it's just really depressing because I really went from being able to keep the Switch to myself to my kids discovering that we have a Switch. And I'm like, oh, I guess I have to share.
Oh
And
no.
so it's been a journey, and I'm really like looking forward to the day where I could just be like, keep this one. I'm gonna get a handheld.
It can get heated. Like I live the bachelor life now by myself, but like my best friend, my brother Jar, used to live with me, and we had the original Xbox, and we actually fist fought a couple of times because we oversave each other's Morrowind games, and oh man, like
I would go crazy.
I was
like,
up to level 20. Yeah, dude,
I would lose it.
Yeah, we went to fists a couple times over Morrowind, so yeah, dude, like oversaving is
when I found out
it's
that
a real
the
thing.
Switch Skyrim was not getting the update, I was like, "What's the point of living? What is this? I have to buy it again?" Because I can't tell you how many times I've bought Skyrim, but I don't have it on my on the PlayStation 5 or like most current console. And so when they were like, "Oh, you're gonna have to buy it over again," I was so mad because I don't know why I want to go fishing, but I do. and and so it really made me mad that I have the Ultimate Edition on Switch, and they were like, "No, you can't. It's not coming for that." And I was like, "Wow, man, that's really a gut punch right there."
Yeah, I call shenanigans, man. Because like I've bought it 4 times, and but the good thing is at least with the platforms I buy it on, after the first one, because I bought it when it first came out for the 360, but since then it's been $20 a piece. You know what I mean? For the Ultimate Edition, when it came out for the 360, it was $20, and then when I got the Ultimate Edition for the Xbone, it was $20. So I'm just like, that's livable. You know what I mean? Because I play the hell out of those games.
Like the most recent one on like the recent console from Zero is like $40 or $50 right now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I've got to bail, guys. I've got New Year's stuff to do with the family, and I hear 11-year-old chaos ensuing. But it was great seeing you guys.
Yeah,
I'll be back around.
nice.
Yeah, there's some serious chaos ensuing.
Yeah, take it easy, Sam. Thanks for stopping by. Happy
Good seeing you. Happy New Year.
All right. Is this a good point for you guys to button it up? Because I mean, we've gone for about 2.5 hours. Joey's probably sweating. He hates when we go over 2 hours. So
let's make it 3 then.
Well,
let's talk about iCarly some more.
Right, let's go back to iCarly.
I could put it on mute and I'll just go.
I don't even know what an iCarly really is. I just thought it was a funny thing to call WandaVision. Like honestly,
it's like
wasn't
Carly
Ariana
Live.
Grande on it? Like.
No, that was the Sam and Cat spinoff.
I don't know what that is.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
The only thing I know,
Victorious, because Cat was on Victorious. That was Ariana Grande's character.
the only thing I know from Nickelodeon is Ninja Turtles. That's about it.
Oh, the Ninja Turtles show. Oh man, the CGI one was so good. Now that's a masterpiece right there.
My daughter loved that one. We had all of the plushes from that one because she really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was good. Pat and I both watched that. That was a really good series.
They put out the best Usagi. They put out the best Usagi Yojimbo action figures for that run of the cartoon as well, man.
Yeah.
But hopefully he'll have his own line of figures because his anime is dropping on Netflix this year, and oh man, the screenshots I've seen are so sexy. Yeah, dude,
cool.
It looks so good. I'm so happy for Stan that he's finally gonna have his own show, not just rely on the Ninja Turtles for toys.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I saw her there too. Actually, the remake, the live action, was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. The Dora the Explorer.
I was mad that it wasn't an actual Michael Bay film. Like I was excited for that. I wanted to see Megan Fox go swiper, no swiper, motherfucker.
You wanted that was to see full bosom.
Yeah, dude. I wanted explosion. Yeah, dude. And when they were like, "No, Michael Bay just put money into it. It's going to be a kids movie," I was just like, "Well, fuck that then. I'm not even watching it."
It genuinely was kind of. It was pretty good. It was cute. It was funny. I liked it.
But you play PlayStation. I can't listen to you.
But listen, as an actor, listen. I don't know if I can ever be on this show again come the new year.
Oh, that's how it is. I see. I know the words to the South Park Wild Wild West song. You don't, though, man.
But I know the words to the Will Smith one.
One more time, because that was so good. Can we leave the show with that? That'll be our sign off.
You want to wrap it?
Yeah, you go ahead. I love it.
I only know the Will Smith one.
Yeah, do it. We going straight. I'll do the Cisco part for you.
He goes, Wicca Wild, Wicca Wild,
Wiki wit, wiki whack.
Wicca Wild, Wild Wild West, Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want none of this, 6 gun in this, brother running this, Buffalo Soldier. Look, it's like I told you. Any damsel that is in distress will be out of that dress once she meets Jim West.
Oh man. That's perfect. This was the Pink Buzz's New Year's potluck, and we actually did deliver on the potluck side of it. We had a little bit of everything. We talked about cooking
Everything.
utensils. We talked about tights. We talked about boring places in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, like vast subjects. So anybody that sat through the whole thing, JP, you're my hero. I'm really happy to have this wonderful panel here. I'm going to go around, starting with Elle. Go ahead and give your plug your whatever your deets that you want people to look you up at, and yeah.
So I'm not exactly legit on Twitter and Instagram, and I co-host House of Nerd Show on YouTube.
Which is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sergio's good on that show. Sergio's awesome.
Oh well, let's not focus on him. Let's bring it back to me.
Banane Manur.
You want me to go?
Yes, Puzzles and Weenies.
Weenies and puzzles.
Yes, that's my new OnlyFans, which we'll, talk about that later. So my publication is horrorgeeklife.com. I'm a Rotten Tomatoes approved critic, so you can find all of my reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. You'll probably hate them all, but that's okay. I am personally not on Twitter anymore, but my publication is at Horror Geek Life, and we're also on Facebook, of course. And then I am on Instagram as under Horror Geek Mel, and Instagram is also Horror Geek Life. Oh, and the Horror Geek Podcast. I've brought it back. The Horror Geek Podcast is also now everywhere where you can find podcasts. So, and
you have that guy Fulci on there. Who's that? What's his story? What's that dude about?
He's on there and he plays so nice. He's so much different than what he does here.
Not into Outlet.
Man, I put that boy in his place before we start recording. No.
Oh yeah, he is Eddie Haskell. Oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mrs. Cleaver. Like I it's so funny when you see him on the Discord for this show. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna cause some shit. Oh, I'm so." But like when you hear him on Horror Geek, he's just like, "Yes, ma'am, indeed." It's night and day. It's hilarious. I love it.
He doesn't even cuss.
No.
Is that when he comes on here and just gives the middle finger?
He has to just get out of his
He has
system.
to compensate somehow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Mel doesn't make Baby Yoda pictures of him like we do, so yeah, there's give and take. You know what I mean? Like we earn the middle fingers.
But I do put my Baby Yoda on screen a whole lot for what it's worth, behind the scenes, and he hates that. So
I don't know if that was sexual or.
Maybe.
What is? Oh, okay. That might be a code word. I put my Baby Yoda on the screen often.
Well, what's his real name now? Koju or something like that?
Grogu.
Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu. Well,
always going to be Baby Yoda.
Joe, you want to plug your Instagram since you do a lot of promotion for the show and for your wonderful artwork that you're going to be doing more of in the new year?
Yeah, man. You can find me at 00 Joe Pocket at Twitter or as well on Instagram. I'm actually using Instagram now, so people can actually find me there now because, I stopped being stubborn and learned how to use it properly.
Been seeing ya. It's great.
Yeah.
He uses pictures and GIFs and
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little cheesy tools you can spruce things up in your stories. So, yeah.
It's addicting, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah,
He's like, let me make these dick doodles a little bit more cute.
Yeah.
Put little smiley faces on
add
them.
some effects.
Yeah. Little sparkles around them.
Yeah, nothing makes a dick better, man. Sparkles.
Sparkles. Good to know. Future reference.
Yeah.
hmm
That's what they said in the 70s, man. That's what the Studio 54 was built around. But yeah, this was Pink Buzz, our potluck special, and I'm really happy you guys enjoyed it and had a good time in the chat with us. We will be back in the new year, first Friday. We have nothing's really planned. Maybe Manu will be joining us. I know he's very excited to be on the show, but he hasn't gotten back to us with a specific date. But yeah, we will be having a good time. And I would like to thank everybody who watched our darling episode from earlier this week. It is doing so well for one of our little single episodes like that. And you guys rock. Until next time, this is Pink Buzz, a product of graphic vandalism, and you know what that means. That means do not stop reading, don't stop watching awesome movies, and do not stop roasting your own weenies and doing puzzles because that's living. All right, until next time, y'all take it easy, and we'll see you next year.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Yes.